I want to give everybody a brief recreation of what I walked in on this morning as everyone was gathered around a sad bucket of bagels that you'd find at the average PTA meeting that was filled with underperforming students and parents who didn't care. Jeremy is muttering under his breath, I'm not kidding. It's only one game. It's only one game. Zaz is saying, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I heard that.
And Rose is singing in both a bad accent and bad singing voice. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
She does this thing where she's so loud because she has her headphones on and she doesn't realize people can hear.
Zaslow can't do the thing of, I knew that was going to happen when you have 3 hours the day before on the air and you never said that was going to happen.
Oh, well, right? we're gonna break down Heat at Mavericks on a Wednesday night.
In his defense, we didn't do predictions.
I know, but I'm saying if you knew that was going to happen, and Tony, you seem to be someone who would call bullshit on this. Like, if you knew it was going to happen, you got to tell somebody.
And then what would
you gotta
happen?
Put it on wax, Zaz.
Would you prepare if I told you yesterday, hey, the Heat are going to lose to the Mavericks tonight? Then what?
I've been like, okay, I'm going to watch a little bit more intently now. Zaz has got a little bit something on line. He said something, right? You say nothing, I don't care. You say something, I care.
All right, good. So you know what? Are we going to make it a thing now where every day we
say
ask
something.
Zaslow, are the Heat going to win or lose
You
tonight?
want to make it
Let's
thing?
do it.
You want to
Let's
make
do
it a thing that every day
Yeah.
you announce your MVP candidate for the league and the MVP conversation.
I'll make similar imaging for his pick.
Glad you're on board. Will the Heat win tonight?
Tyler Hero, make a layup.
Mike Ryan, watch the game.
Andrew Wiggins, my God, can you make a
Ryan
shot?
Nembhard, wow.
I do, tangentially.
Cooper Flagg, is he 19 years old yet?
Yeah, he's 19.
No, he's 19
in
in
December
like
now.
2 weeks.
He said it on the broadcast. When they said he turns 19, I audibly gasped. That doesn't happen often, watching a game in the regular season. Oh, my God.
I know that, Kevin Garnett and a handful of others, LeBron James came to the league out of high school, but I personally have never met at that age someone physically who can play in that league. Like, I've never encountered someone who's 18 years old that I say, yes, of course, he could play against, say the Rudy Gobert, physical players in that league. Like that's not. I have not encountered a human being who is 18 years old that I would say that person can play starting minutes, handle the ball in the NBA.
Not only that, once they switched him from actually playing a good point guard with Ryan Nembhard, his game is like almost taking another step.
Right, 'cause they started the season with like him as the point guard.
Yeah,
It's tough.
it was too much, and he was turning the ball over at a crazy rate. He had one of those types of turnovers last night too, but it's not just the physicality, it's the IQ. This kid is such a smart basketball player at 18. That defense is legit. Like when Kyrie comes back, it's going to be really frustrating to play them.
Did
in the
Nico
West.
have a vision?
The Heat,
yeah,
he
but-
got unlucky last night, though. Anthony Davis played. That never happened.
17 and 17, too, by the way. AD, big dog.
That defense is good, but so is the Heat's. Like the thing that there are two things above all others that I am surprised by. That they're playing at that pace and can be that good defensively at that pace, which is a ridiculous pace. And you said, speaking of public comments that you have made, that Davion Mitchell was going to get benched when Tyler Hero came
Well, you
back.
say bench, that means like that he did something wrong. That's not how I meant it.
No, but that he was going to have to go to the bench, and I was
Yeah.
saying to you, you can't bench that assist to turnover ratio. Like it's the it's the best in the league. If you're going to play at that pace, that efficiently, and never turn the ball over, that's not someone you can bench. Like that's legitimately one of the biggest surprises in Heat history. That point guard, even at a place that recreates and fixes all manner of players.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man to man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say,
Basketball, basketball, basketball.
basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say Zagak. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
In making their stars so important in basketball and making the NBA matter over the last 40 years by celebrating the stars, they have created a league that has a lot of delicious drama. So James Harden and Kawhi Leonard are legitimately shocked when in the middle of the night, Lawrence Frank and Chris Paul are having a conversation that gets Chris Paul a really unceremonious exit when I'm thinking I can make the argument that Chris Paul's the best Clipper ever, right? Or who's in that discussion? Like if I just say best Clipper
Elgin
ever.
Baylor,
okay,
right?
yes, that's
Blake
a good,
Griffin.
Who they also just discarded of.
So there, you've got the drama over there, but all of the drama around the league and the fact that everything changed with Damian Lillard on star player gets what he wants. I'm asking this question while I am leaning toward the innocence of I believe Giannis's injury to be real. Is the next step on countermeasures for players making sure they get to go where they want, faking non-contact injuries? Like, I believe everything that happened there to be real, but you come out of a meeting with the Bucks in which
I can't hear anything you're saying right now because these guys won't stop arguing about best Clipper of all time.
It's not even close.
I think it's Blake Griffin. I think it's Blake Griffin. I think of Chris Paul
I get what you're
as a
saying, but it's
Hornet.
Chris Paul.
I think of him as a
This is
Rocket.
not a
It doesn't
debate.
matter
I think
where
of him
else
as
he played.
he's on 19th of the team. Blake Griffin changing him. He jumped
still
over
gonna
a
think
Kia.
about Chris Paul
He
as
jumped
a
over
Clipper,
a
and he
corporate
led them to
partner.
those moments.
Think of the
Blake
synergy. Carpet.
I would nominate the Yankee Clipper.
Zaslow, is it unfair to say or to even wonder when Giannis wants to force his way out of there? Because it's being reported that they're meeting to see if Giannis can work anything out with the Bucks. That's not what they're meeting about. You gave yourself the Hakeem Next laugh. You can't do that.
The Yankee Clipper.
For Yankee,
that was great.
You
Good
can't.
job,
you-
Chris.
you
There's
can't-
4 people here.
It's in the criteria.
4 people driving around listening to this being like, it's a Yankee Clipper.
Yankee Clipper.
It's a hotel in Fort Lauderdale.
No, it's like
it's
that's
actual,
what you think when
no,
a
it's
Yankee
a
Clipper.
It's an actual Clipper.
Now it's called B Ocean.
He's right about that.
You think that the origins of the Yankee Clipper are a hotel in Fort Lauderdale?
4th of July every year, Cody's.
It was great.
Do you guys know? I don't know if Greg still does this, but Greg Cody, who has been white trash my entire life,
Sleeping on the beach.
does the vacation of sleeping on the beach. And it's really not when I say sleeping on the sand at the beach outside of a hotel on the beach in Hollywood, that's not the greatest of hotels. It's always after he's had too much to drink. So he just doesn't get back to his bed.
It would be a bunch of families doing it, and the families would go to the hotel room, but my dad and Papa Benson would sleep on the beach to protect everyone's stuff because we'd be there on the 3rd and the 4th. And it used to be a zoo there on the 4th. So instead of like resetting up every morning, they would sleep on the beach. And my dad would always bail at like 6 a.m. and stumble into the hotel room and try to like get 2 hours of sleep. And then Benson would get mad at my dad, be like, I've been out here all night. And my dad would just slither away.
But he would sleep on the sand. And I'm guessing that occasionally, given what your dad gets into, that there wouldn't even be a towel or blanket or anything out there. There would just be your dad with sand in his hair wandering back into the hotel room.
Sleeping crisscross applesauce?
Raw dog in the shore is crazy.
They would have issues like homeless people would come by and stuff.
Unhoused.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you can say homeless again.
Thank you.
You can also say
Yes,
that
you
your
can.
father was scaring the unhoused. It wasn't the unhoused scaring your father.
Nah, say homeless.
Homeless guy was like, "Hey, can I get a cig?"
Yeah, I knew Tony would have my back.
He's got.
They are homeless. Like they have no home. Homeless. I mean, what do we do?
Never got that one.
Okay, not for you to get. It's not offensive to
Okay,
you.
home fewer.
Have we
Regard.
asked them?
Yeah, you
Because
guys.
you're saying that.
Yeah, you guys are all big on like, how do you identify?
Have we asked them? Hey, are you cool with homeless? Do you unhoused? And they're like, hey, I don't have a house. Do I give a
I
shit?
they've got greater concerns.
Yeah.
So when do
that's
we
kind of-
acknowledge
that's kind of
it's
my
Joe
bigger
DiMaggio as the Yankee Clipper?
Right. Well, thank you for that. I
Really?
What? This whole time I thought it was Tyler Clippard.
I was about to ask him, actually, Jeremy, who was the Yankee who was nicknamed the Yankee Clipper, to try and get the surprise out of him, because I don't think he was going to get DiMaggio. I think he
Joe.
would.
I thought it was Tyler Clippard.
He
100%.
clearly did not know this was a nickname for anyone. He really truly
It's a
only
hotel. No,
associates it with the
it's a
hotel.
hotel in
Wait,
Fort Lauderdale.
It's a hotel named after Joe DiMaggio?
But there's also a hospital in Fort Lauderdale.
wanna kiss your
that's
cheek.
Named after Joe
Shout out Joe
DiMaggio.
D.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. More famous Yankee Clipper, the hotel in Fort Lauderdale or Joe DiMaggio?
Can you throw Tyler Clippard on there? I think I'm right about this one. Like a dog with a bone.
Jeremy, when you watch what it is that's happening with the Bucks, and I'm going to play some Doc Rivers sound for you in a second.
What do you say?
Is it wildly unfair for anyone to wonder? And again, I'm going to preface this by saying I believe he's actually injured. I am just wondering if the next step on making a mess where the player takes the power back is I'm just not going to play for you, and I'm going to make the mess bigger than any mess. And the way to make it a biggest mess, because the reports are from Windhorst that he wants to be a Knick, that he's just saying, make me a Knick. That it's not a meeting about can you come back to the Bucks. Once you're at this point in the meetings, it's I want to get out of here, no matter what Doc Rivers says.
It's funny the way this is escalated, because I came in here with sort of the same energy as you, which is I think he's hurt. But if you were going to muck things up, it sure would be the right way to do it, which is delete everything off your social media, and then immediately the next game you play, come out with an injury of which was undetectable.
Yeah, non-contact.
But calf strain, Zaz and I were talking, like,
Calf
that's
strain's a new
bad
Achilles
news.
tear. Like if you have a calf strain, you don't have to play for a year. That's a new Achilles tear. And you know what? Normally I would obviously doubt that Giannis is faking an injury, because that has never been his MO. He's a super tough, hard-working player, great reputation, but he's doing the childish bullshit. Like, you wouldn't have expected Giannis doing the let's delete everything off of social media childish nonsense. So,
Yeah,
look,
but
he may be doing the get me out of here playbook.
Remember, his leg snapped on national TV in a finals game and played and had 50
Yeah.
points and 20 rebounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I would say that if you're just willing to be most cynical and be willing to explore the hypothetical, I believe that the faking of an injury is a bridge too far. There's one thing with, the childishness of deleting the team that you're following. That's a different thing. The faking of an injury, to me, is something, while not criminal, is something that should ruin your reputation. Like, if Damian Lillard wasn't willing to ruin his relationship with the fan base of Portland, I know that Giannis is not only a great spokesman for the league, Giannis is, as you say, the stories are legendary. Giannis used to run back and forth to the gym because he would just jog to the gym. He'd always want to be at the gym. He is a hard worker. Everyone has known him to always be a professional. But if you fake an injury to get out of somewhere, to me, that is a scar that should stay on your resume forever.
Dude is not faking an injury. Like, he's not. This is not fake.
We'll never know.
Well, I think we'll know. And I guess technically, sure, we can go into it conspiratorially in saying we'll never know. He's not faking an injury. He loves that city. He might be frustrated with the organization, but he cares about the fans. He cares about his own career. He's not a guy who is one to fake anything. But the fact that we are where we are in how to escalate the drama to get what you want when you're a piece like Giannis, that we can sit around here and even question it, just shows kind of how nuts things have gotten in terms of those contracts and being moved.
If you look at an injury that he had previously a couple years ago, it's kind of the exact same thing. There was a side-by-side of the videos of him pulling a calf the same exact way. A couple of steps after something happens, he goes down to the floor. Like, I don't think this is something that's fake. It's something that we've already seen before.
May I just say, I am so proud of us. We've done this for about 8 minutes, and we have not put him on the heat yet. We've learned.
I would say that it is less likely that Giannis is faking an injury than the grand majority of players in the league, just based on what you think of their reputations, how much they want to be out there, how much they love basketball. He would be one of my last choices on this, but let's hear what it is that Doc Rivers had to say about this, because he says this is not Blake's fault.
So here we go again. There's been no conversations. I want to make it clear just for I would say one more time, but for the 50th time, it clearly is not getting to one network for sure. Giannis has never asked to be traded, ever. I can't make that more clear.
He's only implied it.
So here we go again.
He's not asking to be traded.
beaten down.
He's telling them to trade him.
So here we go again.
It's not a request. It's a demand. He's not politely asking. He's politely telling, I don't want to be here anymore.
What if a reporter then followed up with, but has he told you he wants to be traded? Yes, he has that.
I can't make that more clear.
You could.
Windhorse is saying that Giannis told the Bucks, I want to be a Knick, make me a Knick, end quote. So does everyone think Doc Rivers is just lying there? Okay.
Well, that was over the summer. His initial report on that and everything that was going on, the whole long ESPN article that detailed everything, was all about Giannis wanting out, asking for enhancements to the roster. They came back with Miles Turner. They told him, we're not moving you. The conversations between the Knicks and the Bucks were not the Bucks calling the Knicks, but the Knicks checking in. And it all just stalled out there. But
So
now,
here we go again.
all these months later,
So here we go again.
Okay, so this is what's happened to Giannis with Milwaukee, because I don't believe that yesterday is a conversation about let's see if I can be here, let's see what we can do, let's see how we can fix this. I don't believe that that's the case. I believe that Giannis has been stewing in some form since they lost Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. They're not the same team. He's out there with Bobby Portis now, and yes, Miles Turner, who every team in the league could have had the last 3 years.
Did you see last night, by the way, we almost had a big time
That was
scrap
a
in that
serious
game.
scrap.
I mean,
Two guys really scrapped.
Bobby Portis, Isaiah Stewart. If I was at that game and those guys started fighting, I would get out my seat. I would leave. I'd be very scared.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If Bobby Portis and Isaiah Stewart started to fight, would you get out of your seat and leave the arena?
I got out of my seat and stand. I'm excited to watch
I'm
it.
trying to stay safe, Tony.
Please.
You guys understand what I am saying, though, right? That if you're 20 games into a season and you're under 500 and he's playing the way that he is, which is very well, and you look around and you're like, I can't win this way. This isn't a conversation about how do we fix this here. This is a conversation about how do you fix this for me so I'm no longer
Oh,
here.
you don't think he's going in there to game plan with the front office?
Well, but that's the way they're presenting it.
Of course.
Okay, you say of course, but that's not accurate. It's not an accurate representation of what's happening.
But even with that, what assets do you have to trade? What assets do you have to make this team better? You don't. And then on top of that, when they've been with him, they've been a 500 ball club. Without him, they've been dreadful. Offensive rating drops like 15 points when Giannis is on the floor to when he's not on the floor. Like, this is a completely flawed roster from top to bottom. We knew that going into the season. And then it's like, oh, Giannis is just going to score 30 and have 15 boards a game. Like, I guess it'll be fine.
Here's the reality. They should trade him, and they are going to trade him. And not just because Giannis wants to be traded, because it's literally the best thing for the franchise. They've already won a championship with him. Like, they've maxed it out. Dude. They've maxed it out. They have no assets, like Tony said. They have no way to build around Giannis for the foreseeable future. They took big swings. They missed. And now the way to replenish is actually to cash in on Giannis.
I'm sick. It's like winning the in-season tournament buys you nothing.
So Zaslow claims the Bucks have maxed it out, and I would argue that with that kind of player, they've underachieved, that one championship is not enough to win when you have that player. I don't even mean it very much as an indictment because he's playing during an era when there are a lot of great players.
2 championships. There's 2 banners.
Emirates IST.
Do they have a banner up for that?
I know the Lakers do.
Boy, I'll tell you what. You know, the Heat are in the NBA Cup semifinals. I really hope the Heat win. I'm into it. They better not put up a banner.
They've got Dan Marino's jersey retired up there.
It's like in the
it's
corner and
honored.
it's dark.
Yeah, it's
There's
How
not
are
even
you-
a
It is
spotlight
dark.
on it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
How are you into it but don't want a banner?
Because I would like to say that the Heat won the NBA Cup, but you better not put up a banner.
Does Mark Anthony still have a banner?
I haven't been to the arena in almost 2 years, so I don't know.
Wait a minute, you haven't
Terry Rozier
you haven't
boycott.
been to the arena since they let you go since you worked there professionally in a suit.
Yeah.
You haven't-
Since you got paid to be
No,
there?
I was at a Travis Scott concert there. I went to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you see the Mark Anthony banner?
So Michael Jordan's banner is up there. Michael Jordan's jersey's been retired up there. Dan Marino's jersey is retired up there. But this is where Zaz
next?
draws the line. Not the
Barkov.
Oh, that's a good one.
Haslam. They're going to put Haslam up there, aren't they?
I think Haslam's already. up.
They'll
Haslam's
probably
already
just
up
keep
there.
it there.
Haslam's already like, yeah. Haslam's got the one without like Hall of Fame below it. It's kind of a little sad by comparison.
Or gold medal.
And LeBron's doesn't have Hall of Fame, or LeBron's not up there, but whenever
yeah, LeBron's not up there.
Willie B.
Do you happen to know?
I don't happen to know, and I'll be honest with you, I hope not.
If Shaq's up there, LeBron's up there.
Get out of here.
If Shaq's up there, LeBron's up there.
You guys are nuts if you think LeBron's not going up there eventually.
And you're crazy if you don't think Jimmy's going to be up there soon.
get
now
outta
that's
here.
a
It'll
debate.
happen.
Now
Oh,
there's a
shame
debate.
on
Jimmy
you.
will be up there.
You take that back.
Jimmy will be up there.
Shame on you.
So here we go again.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Will Jimmy Butler's number be retired by the
Never.
Heat and put
that is
in
Such
the?
bullshit.
Stop. Yeah, it would be. It would be. This isn't about Mickey. This isn't about Pat. It's about the fans. And I know it was ugly at the end, but Jimmy brought a lot of great memories here.
You think the fans want that?
I mean, Tim
Yes.
Hardaway's up there. He did, I guess, more than Tim Hardaway.
I think right now it's split. I think in 10 years' time we'll be like, COVID.
The
right?
photo
We were
of
all a
him,
little
the tired
crazy.
photo.
Yeah, like, you know what?
Like an
We're good.
asterisk for COVID. Just gonna say COVID
It
on the
made us
bottom.
all crazy.
I think in 10 years' time, fans would be like, wow, we didn't win shit when Jimmy was here.
What did we win with Tim Hardaway?
I understand, but
You know
that's
what?
not the same.
I don't think this is fair, okay? Like, I understand that the standard in sports is that there's one winner and everyone else gets to be a loser, but you don't get to disgrace everything that was 5 years of an era of basketball that was really good in Miami and really successful because they got close a few times but didn't end up winning the trophy. I'm not going to dismiss that entire era as loser, but I also think the hostility and the mess at the end will make it so that I doubt very much that while Pat Riley's alive, that jersey's
That's what
going
I'm
up
saying.
there.
I'd love to see how that process goes. Is this something that they visit with annually? Is there a committee? Is there like a board meeting where someone's like, all right, Goran Dragic, and he puts out feelers? Okay,
quick meeting.
We'll have this conversation next year.
For 22, they immediately gave it to Andrew Wiggins. Like Jimmy left, they give 22
That's a big
immediately to
sign.
Andrew
That's a
Wiggins.
sign.
Like, come on.
Yeah, but when LeBron came here, Mario was like, all right, I guess I'll give you 6.
Yeah, okay, that's different.
Do you guys disagree with me saying that Giannis winning one championship in Milwaukee is not a max out? It's an underachievement.
I do disagree.
Two titles.
I do disagree.
What if it's 2 titles?
I do disagree. I think winning is really hard in that sport. I mean, is Luka Doncic's time in Dallas a major disappointment? He didn't win anything.
Yeah, but if Giannis didn't win a championship, he'd go right there with Barkley as the best players in that sport to never have won a championship.
Right, but he did. Like, why does he have to win 2? Like, he won. He did.
Oh, because I thought he was going to be dominating the sport over an
Next
era.
10 years.
It's like if Wemby only wins 1. To me, the kind of player that Giannis was, when I'm looking at what that was physically, and we're really splitting hairs because I don't mean this as an indictment of Giannis. I've said of Aaron Rodgers, that's underachievement. I've said of Shaq, that's underachievement. And I don't mean it as indictment. I just mean those are physically such gifted players that they should win more than they've won because they were the best among the best of what it is I've ever seen.
And I would think in this conversation, you're using that more as an indictment of the front office than
but I'm saying they won with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Like it's not that's fine, but it's
Drew
like
Holiday.
Like that's fine, but it's his two best teammates winning a championship. It's exactly what I'm saying. It's why he's leaving. Like it's because since they won the championship, you're supposed to build off that, and they've gotten on nothing but down because he's like, you're not even going to get me Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. You're going to get me Miles Turner.
But they were old at that point, right? Like they were already kind of on the cusp of, all right, these guys are older guys that are champion veteran players. Now all of a sudden you get rid of those guys. You don't tool up on young guys. You get AJ Green who's running out there shooting threes. You're like, what am I going to do with this?
They did get him Damian Lillard though, and they won that bidding war.
Everyone was in on that trade.
And
everyone.
And it resulted in again an Emirates Cup title. You guys keep glossing over this thing, and I don't get it.
Can we just say the very obvious, and that is that in the year 2023, Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul. Right?
They took
did
what?
They took the Bucks' soul.
Okay.
The soul.
I heard Bucks Hole.
I heard Bucks Hole the same way I heard Hypocrisy yesterday. I heard Bucks Hole.
You think
and
I said they took the Bucks' whole?
Look,
Yes.
you said they take that
Frank
ass.
Reynolds over here.
Yeah, you're the
You said they
inventor
took the
around
Bucks
here
hole.
of taking that ass. And
Why
then-
would anyone say
I
Bucks
thought that's
The
what you
guy
said
that says
too.
take that ass would say
I saw that.
Bucks hole.
I heard that. Tony, how did you hear that?
I heard soul. I know what he was doing. I heard
Jeremy,
soul.
what did you hear? Soul or hole?
Hole for sure.
Get the hell out
Chris
of here.
You
Cody,
said Bucks hole.
It did sound like you said Bucks hole.
When you take a
they
Bucks
took that
hole,
Bucks hole is what you said.
What happens when you take their hole?
You
What
said
happens
they,
when you take that ass?
Oh,
you gotta
know
ask.
What happens.
You said they took that Bucks hole. That's what I heard, anyways. That is what I heard. I want to go back on two different things here. First, the Chris Paul thing, because I don't think we talked about this enough yesterday. I almost don't care what happened. Outside of an illegality, you cannot have your franchise's all-time great sent packing in the middle of the night. Like you're sitting here telling me that the Bucks are constructing an assortment of lies to protect their franchise, their optics, and everything. An assortment of lies as it relates to Giannis. But the Clippers in this case, who, by the way, put this on the poll at Le Batard Show, did Pablo Torre ruin the Clippers?
Did he take their hole?
Did Pablo Torre take the Clippers whole?
Maybe we shouldn't phrase it that way.
Because this has been a Clipper disaster. They won last night in Atlanta. I defy you to look at that Atlanta roster last night and figure out how it is that team was 13-9 headed into that game. But you can't let the best player in franchise history, I'm saying outside of an illegality, outside of him committing a crime, that's not the way you can have that career end publicly, almost no matter what he's done. If he's arguing with Lawrence Frank in the middle of the night in a hotel room for 3 hours, whatever it is.
What if he spit in Lawrence Frank's face?
You can't do that. You cannot.
I think Zaz went to the extreme.
No. I'm saying you cannot have Chris Paul's career end in a way that looks like that. You can absolutely waive him, but it's got to look better than that at the end, because what ends up happening with the way that they did that, okay, people wake up in the morning and they're like, what happened with Chris Paul? And all you have after that is everyone asking, what else happened there? You have to be able, in protection of your franchise, in protection of who it is that Chris Paul is, in protection of what it is that he's done for your franchise, you have to protect the optics better than that. If you're willing to tell me that the Bucks are just out here lying about what's happening with Giannis, why wouldn't they lie in this situation to simply wait until the next day? It's the sending him home in the middle of the night, shocking his teammates, where you're now got a locker room the next day where Harden and Kawhi Leonard are giving the quotes of like, this totally surprised me.
So you're telling me Lawrence Frank can be sitting there with a loogie hanging from his face, like, all right, I'll see you at practice tomorrow.
I'm saying they can waive him and make it look better than that. He doesn't have to come to practice. You could actually say conduct detrimental, whatever it is that you want to say. You can't just send him away in the middle of the night and leave all of the questions there when it's an all-time great. Like when I'm sitting here looking at this, when people are saying I'm listening to the coverage yesterday, I'm like, Chris Paul, I think, is the best player they've ever had. Like the clip.
We're still debating it back here.
This is a franchise. This is a franchise that before Chris Paul got there was a laughingstock for 30 years. Like before Chris Paul is the beginning of them getting to be more credible. Chris Paul's the beginning of Ballmer being able to make one of the dumbest trades in history that we all thought was a good trade at the time.
Yeah, and I guess because everything you said is true, I guess the place that I go is he must have been impossible to deal with this season for them to do all of those things you just did.
Yeah, but you can have all of that be so and still protect your organization and optics better than that. The way that you're doing it, the way that the Clippers did it, as far as I can tell, show me all the hypothetical worst ways they could have done it. Give me all the things that you imagine that a PR team, a crisis team, a marketing team on optics, tell me how they could have done it worse than the way that they did it, where they're just leaving a bunch of questions for people in the morning on like, what the hell happened there?
Briefly revisiting the worst basketball trade of all time, everyone was grateful that the Clippers got into that thing because if Kawhi went to the Lakers, they would have ruined the sport. Why even have the games? The Lakers are going to win everything. And then, cut to now, that trade did end up ruining the sport because OKC is unbeatable.
Just thought of something. Do we think that the Clippers did this to distract from Pablo's aspiration story? So that way there's just something crazier that's happened more recently that seems like an even bigger front office and ownership bungle?
No, because there's a mystery here with the Clippers, and the last thing they want is another mystery.
I feel bad for the PR people, right? Like, just one storm after another. It's the aspiration thing. It's this, it's that. And all of a sudden, they wake up, you guys did what to Chris Paul? Now we have to clean up what again?
I know we like to talk about front office executives, general managers, even coaches. They're stupid. They don't know what they're doing, all right? I'm guilty of that as well. Lawrence Frank definitely understands the optics of what he did or was about to do before he did it, yet he still did it. So doesn't there have to be something really bad that happened?
Again, the fact that they've left that question in your mind a day later is part of the problem. I don't assume Lawrence Frank knows what he's doing based on how I saw him with weeks to prepare for the Pablo allegations, how he arrived at camp to talk about that publicly. We can get that sound. Get me the sound, please, that we were making fun of Lawrence Frank about when it is that he made those comments, when he had weeks to prepare for the making of those comments. But also get me the sound of Hawks fans last night just chanting that they're wondering where Chris Paul is.
This is it. This is in Atlanta, and this is the fans heckling the Clippers, saying, "Where is Chris Paul?"
The idea that you would take an all-time great, just basketball great, never mind Clippers great, because again, I'll keep saying it. Whoever you think is the best Clipper of all time, in my lifetime of watching basketball, it's been Chris Paul. Just seeing everything that is happening around the Clippers reminds me that they've been a laughingstock when they've cleared some of that laughingstock energy off of them over the years. But Mike mentioned that Kawhi Leonard would have ruined the sport if he had teamed with LeBron. Chris Paul would have ruined Los Angeles in basketball if they'd let him go to the Lakers before David Stern stepped in and said, you can't go to the Lakers. Like, if they'd let him go to the Lakers, the Clippers would still be something that we're laughing at, because Chris Paul is more responsible for the Clippers resuscitating themselves than the Clippers have ever been for resuscitating themselves. And it shifted in Los Angeles, where the Clippers became something formidable when he got there, and I just don't know what he could have done. When he says spit a loogie in his face, like Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey, when he says spit a loogie in his face, Chris Paul's more important to everything the Clippers have been than Lawrence Frank is by leaps and bounds. Like, it's not, Lawrence Frank doesn't have to eat it. He can wave him, but you have to make it look better than that on behalf of the organization. So I ask you guys the question again. What is the hypothetical worst way that they could have done it if it's not this?
Mid-game. Right? Mid-game.
He's not playing.
Yeah, but if at one point, like, Ty Lue just walks over
What if
to
they
him,
killed him? Just flat out kill. Hey,
Mid-game.
He's dead.
Mid-game.
We killed him.
Mid-game.
Halftime
Just
show.
Murdered him.
Okay, you got me, Tony. You did.
Thank you.
You
You sat in the chair, electric chair. He's dead. Sorry.
okay? Really?
Doesn't play.
So electrocute him.
Electrocute him to death in Atlanta.
Yeah, pro capital punishment, my man.
All right, very good. I appreciate the effort. Let's check in here with Zaslow and make a final verdict here on whether he said take their soul or take their whole.
Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul. Vindicated.
I don't
Jimmy
feel-
I hear whole.
I still
say
hear
it.
whole.
Play it again.
Yeah, right. Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul.
I
That-
still
that's
hear
whole.
whole.
The dress
I
is
hear-
blue.
Vindicated.
That S is not doing
That
enough.
S is attached to
dress
the
is blue.
Bucks. That X.
Dan has the S somewhere else.
the S
I'm
is
with Zaz on this. I hear soul.
no. Listen to me. Just listen to me closely. That S is attached to the buck. It is not attached to the hole.
Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul.
Buck's hole. That's possessive. That S belongs to the buck.
Something wrong with your ears.
You keep playing that. Keep playing that.
We're fine tuning.
Took the Bucks' soul. He took the Bucks' soul. Oh, come on.
What do you mean? Come on.
I still hear hole.
He took the Bucks' soul. Yeah, that's definitely Bucks'
Wait a minute.
soul.
Are you?
There's only one S, like Dan said. You should.
There's
you should
not
have
two S's
Bucks
there.
Soul.
There aren't two S's there.
There's one S.
There's one S is the
He
bridge,
took the Bucks' soul.
and it's with the hole. It's not with the buck.
The more I listen to it, the more it's whole.
The more I listen to it, the better I feel. He took the Bucks' soul.
That
I'm
is
like
not.
Yankee win. There's no S. This one there's only one S.
He took the Bucks' soul.
That is not vindication for Zaslow. I don't know how you hear vindication there when all I hear again and again is whole.
He took the Bucks' soul. Thank you for playing that again, because now I definitely know I said Bucks' soul. Thank you.
Got to pay the troll toll.
Jeremy, do you have a ruling on this? Because I don't believe Mike and I are doing bit here. I keep hearing. Now, this might be one of those things where you
Jeremy
hear
with a
whatever it
ruling.
is you want to hear
did
before
he
you
become a
start
judge?
the conversation.
It is, but I'm telling you, the more you hear it, the clearer it becomes.
It's obvious. There's one S there. He just flew through the other
This
S.
is why you're not a judge.
Okay, but you've got to give Chris Cody time to edit this. When he's editing most ferociously, his mouth hangs open and he panics. So I can tell he's editing this. in
Just
a
yelled
way-
an F word.
Can't hear what I'm editing when you guys are talking. Can everyone shut up?
Stop blowing the gag.
Okay,
Just give him time to lay out. If his
like,
mouth
"F
is
me."
open, you lay out and you feel, and then we
No,
do
no,
something
yeah, but
funny.
he-
Oh, hey, look,
Why do I
it's
have
the
to
Yankee
explain this to you?
Clipper.
I have Lawrence Frank talking about rules.
Just has Dennis Robertson, Kawhi's uncle, ever asked for any extra benefits that wouldn't be allowable under the NBA salary cap directly to you? There's been a lot coming out about his asks.
Yeah, look, Dennis knows the rules, Kawhi knows the rules, Mitch Franklin knows the rules, and we know the rules.
Is that a yes or a no, though?
Yes, we all know the rules.
You're positive he knows what he's doing?
You're telling me it's not possible Chris Paul spit a loogie on that guy's face?
I heard whole.
Are you reporting it?
Let's relive this.
He took the Bucks' soul.
That's obvious.
Whoa!
It's obvious. Like, that's how I've heard it every single time.
He wasn't even saying bucks. It was just straight up butthole.
He took the Bucks. He took the Bucks' soul. You guys are bullshit.
What do you mean?
You're bullshit.
You said it. You said it, and we heard it that way. You're a professional communicator. We often listen around here. We listen at a clip of about 91% around here to what other people are saying, and multiple people heard you say that he took the Bucks' hole.
He took the Bucks' soul.
And now it's even worse. Now it's even clearer to me. The more I hear it, the more obvious it is to me that you said something that's inappropriate and you should be on the cusp of being canceled.
He took the Bucks' soul.
Is that not obvious to you? What are you making faces for?
This is why no one takes me serious. He took the Bucks' soul.
It's the backwards flex fit hat.
It's the fact that you wear a Roman Reigns shirt. out
Nice
with your
hat,
wife.
Now this spread Hitman Hart.
No. You are a judge. You're a lawyer. You are a race expert.
Race war expert.
You're a journalist. You are being taken seriously around here. But I think that what is hurting you is the way that you dress. Like I believe that Juju is right when he says you can be taken more seriously. Anyone can be if they dress for the part.
I had to go to a school function last night with my younger son, excuse me. My wife couldn't come because she had something else going on. I was wearing a wrestling shirt. I said to my wife, do I have to change?
And?
She said, you wear whatever you want.
But date night is different? The rules
Well,
are
yeah,
different.
because I wasn't with her last night. But date night, I'm right next to her. So I guess she felt that that's the difference.
Okay, so the shame is not of having you as an adult dressed like a toddler being among other parents as her husband.
And my wife's a principal at the school, by the way.
Oh. Whoa.
What? What happened?
Oh, wait, the same school?
Yeah.
So people know you. You're like kind of like a boss around there.
I mean, I'm not there that often, so I don't know if they know me.
I want to clarify a couple of different things here. As Jeremy, please isolate the shocked woe from Jeremy as he just fled the microphone with like shame and embarrassment on behalf of Zaz, the way that Zaz feels shame and embarrassment when watching anything Tim Robinson does on an airplane. The idea that your wife, when you're next to her, would have an objection to going out to dinner with you wearing a Roman Reigns shirt, but she's fine with you representing among other parents at the school where she's the principal, which is really a detail I did not know either. And inside, I had the same reaction that Jeremy had outside. It came out of Jeremy's mouth, but it was pinballing inside me. I just didn't want, Zaz to feel my shame, which is, oh my God. The principal must be so embarrassed that her husband is going out in public among other parents wearing a Roman Reigns shirt that none of those kids would wear.
I'm just glad she's finally allowing me to express myself.
What did your kid wear? Is he also wearing a wrestling shirt? He's like, Dad's wearing the wrestling shirt. I'll go like.
Nah, school uniform.
So everyone there is dressed professionally. You're the worst one. You're dressed.
Worst? I think you're mispronouncing
He
best.
looks more like the middle schoolers than the middle schoolers.
I look great. I was very pleased with my look last night.
But when you look at the other parents, is there anyone else?
See a bunch of 9-to-5 losers is what I'm looking at.
Got a point there.
You don't think they'd trade places with me?
Of course. Did you wear jeans?
No, I don't wear jeans. I wore shorts.
You wore shorts at night.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Okay.
You never wear jeans?
I don't. He took the buckle.
So, 9-to-5 losers is what you have now called the principal's constituency.
You were just dressed like you are now.
He took the buckle.
Best F1 Minutes with Jessica Spatano.
After a blank space on the calendar, Formula One is back in Azerbaijan. Despite its reputation for tight corners and narrow roads, F1 is putting a sprint race in Baku. On Saturday, Charles Leclerc is fearless in pole position as the sprint begins. But at the start, London boy George Russell delivers some karma to Max Verstappen, making him a move to push him wide. Max is red, but George says, don't blame me. Number 22, Yuki Tsunoda, clips the wall and loses a tire after just 2 laps. At the restart, Sergio Perez has a lead with 5 laps left. It's time to go. Checo wins the sprint race, but Max and George have bad blood when the race ends. You guys see what I'm doing yet? Will there be vigilante shit on Sunday?
This
Max,
is amazing.
You need to calm down because it's lights out and away we go in Baku. Sparks fly, and Verstappen is driving like he's in a getaway car and pulls out into the lead. Long story short, Nick DeVries has a glitch and a safety car ensues. Perez is in the lead after a slew of pit stops, but he's not out of the woods yet. The one driver, Max Verstappen, has speed, but that's when Sergio Perez says, bye-bye, baby. As the race ends, Esteban Ocon goes into the pit, but the mastermind race organizers have let press onto the treacherous pit lane. This is why we can't have nice things. 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton finishes in 6th. The last great American dynasty, Haas, finishes out of the points, but today was a fairy tale for Sergio Perez. Verstappen finishes in 2nd, which is better than revenge. 1-2 for Red Bull is nothing new. They don't have champagne problems on the podium, but the anti-hero Max Verstappen is only ahead in the Drivers' Championship by 6 points. Fernando Alonso and Taylor Swift rumors are swirling. Long live Formula One. Max Verstappen has won the Drivers' Championship, but we still have 4 races to go. In Austin, Daniel Ricciardo rides a horse named Horsey McHorseface into the paddock. Zach Brown accuses Christian Horner of cheating, and Fort Lauderdale's own Logan Sargent will join Williams in 2023. During quali, Carlos Sainz takes the fastest lap while his teammate Charles Leclerc takes a grid penalty. Martin Brundle gets snubbed by Brad Pitt. Tim Apple doesn't know how to wave a flag. 440,000 people are at the Circuit of the Americas. It's lights out and away we go. On turn 1, Max Verstappen gets ahead of Carlos Sainz, and Sainz tries to recover but gets hit by George Russell. The Spaniard is out of the race before the one lap is even over, and Russell takes a 5-second penalty. Valtteri Bottas' race ends early, and a safety car helps out Charles Leclerc for once. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll get in a massive collision, and debris is everywhere. Lewis Hamilton, on hard tires, leads the race with 10 laps to go, but the Flying Dutchman cannot be beat this year. It's Verstappen, Hamilton, and Leclerc. Sebastian Vettel battles to the finish in his final USGP. Baby Lando finishes 6th, and Yuki gets a point. Red Bull wins the Constructors' Championship for the first time in 10 years, a day after their founder's passing. People are crying, there's champagne flowing, fireworks are popping off. Everything is bigger in Texas, Dan, except for F1 drivers.
Yes, it's time for the F1 minute here, even though I want to hear that sound
gave it
again.
away?
Je suis stressé pour les minutes de Formule 1. J'ai besoin d'énergie. Énergie.
Let's go,
Wait for the
energy.
beat drop.
Oh, energy.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Circuit Powercar pour le Grand Prix de France. Les températures élevées sur le circuit signifient que la gestion des tout va être essentielle. Charles Leclerc, le pilote automobile monégasque, fait passer à Max Verstappen pour la première place. Le pilote Ferrari doit gagner pour rester dans les championnats. Mais non! Quelle horreur! Une catastrophe! Sacré bleu! Charles Leclerc sort de la course! Encore de la malchance! Il est fini! Une honte! Max Verstappen prend une grosse avance. Lewis Hamilton, le pilote Mercedes, est 12e. Carlos Sainz, l'autre pilote Ferrari, a commencé à la 19e.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
What is the latest on Jordan Hudson? And if you don't know that name, she is the young girlfriend of Bill Belichick. There is a sports book that is taking bets on whether or not one of two things happens first. She sues Pablo Torre, who they are calling Pablo Torres.
She wins the lawsuit against Pablo Torres.
Ruben Baines.
Or she gets pregnant.
Right now, the odds are minus 300 for that, plus 200 to be Pablo Torres.
Okay, so that is the predictions market that Trump kids are dominating. We will get to that and other things with David Sampson. We miss David Sampson around here. Nothing Personal is the name of the podcast. If you want to see him covering terrain, as I've told you before, that not a lot of people in sports are able to cover.
But to answer your initial question about Jordan, she submitted a Freedom of Information Act request against her school's top comms officer, I guess alluding to the fact that she may suspect he's behind the 60 Minutes leak.
So you've got David Sampson smiling maniacally there. I haven't seen David Sampson do a lot of smiling lately. What can you tell us about, in general, what you see happening all around Jordan Hudson?
I want her to sue Pablo so badly. Not because I want you to be a part of it, because certainly Meadowlark would be named. You'd likely be personally named. Amin may be named. I may be named. I mean, Jeremy for sure should be named. It would be so. Yes, you, Jeremy.
I don't want her.
We need
to
a fall guy.
I don't want her to sue us.
For sure, Jeremy.
You want to be
was
sued?
inevitable.
You're rooting for her to sue us?
Yes.
Oh, for the love of God!
I'm not going to be deposed.
You know about that discovery, Dan?
Dan, I promise you that if she files a lawsuit, I will make it my second life's work to make sure that all attorneys' fees are paid by Bill Belichick, number one. Number two, I will make sure that she is so thoroughly embarrassed by losing every single motion, every objection. Forget getting to a trial, which would be unbelievably great. It'll never happen that way. Defamatory? That's the best she's come up with? It's got zero chance. It'll never make it past anything. As a matter of fact, I want to disbar the lawyer who would file the lawsuit on her behalf because it's so outrageous, but I just want her to keep trying because it gives Pablo more. And Dan, you should love that. It's about Pablo and the show and his ability to find out more stuff. Can you imagine a lawsuit where you're taking the stand?
Yeah, I don't really want to pay.
Look, David's happy.
He's happy, yes, but he's not thinking about attorneys' costs, and he is saying he'd get Belichick to pay for those costs. But I really don't want to be sued. I'm trying to avoid being sued. I'd like to.
Have you ever been sued?
No, not yet.
Ever?
No.
Wow.
Ooh, I got
You haven't lived until you've been sued.
I got that at minus 250 in my own prediction market.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you lived if you haven't been sued? Yes or no? What is your take on everything happening around Giannis as you are consistently pro-management? I imagine you being just generally infuriated by any player trying to leave a contract.
I resent the implication that I am always simply pro-management. I'm simply pro-fan. I want to, as a Milwaukee Bucks fan, as a lover of the city of Milwaukee, understand what it is more we need to do for the guy. We gave him the extension. He's paid over $50 million a year. He keeps us hanging like some lover at a middle school prom. Will you dance with me or not? Every year we have to worry about this. Now the Bucks start well. 4-1. He's silent. Everything's good. All of a sudden, they're not winning games, and now he wants out. Give me a small break, which is why I stated publicly on Nothing Personal today, I would trade him to the Clippers. That's the only place. Knicks, Heat, forget it. I don't want to give him a chance to go to Joe's or go to Flash Dancers. No, I want him to have to live in the Intuit Dome with Aspirations co-founders. That's it. I'm furious with Giannis.
Well, wait a minute. He would make the Clippers good if he went and played for the Clippers. You're not punishing him by sending him to Los Angeles. What is it that have you made many trades that are simply out of pettiness? You can't do. This guy's got too much value for you to just make a trade out of pettiness.
You say value in a salary cap league. You can't just trade a guy. You have to. There's money involved, and you have to match salaries, and there's all sorts of rules where people cannot necessarily make straight basketball trades. And so, for example, with the Knicks, it was reported in order for a trade to happen at all, you have to trade OG, you have to trade Bridges, among other people. Bridges can't get traded till the end of January, so Giannis would have to be injured until January 31st and then miraculously get better and then come back and play for the Knickerbockers. To me, the Clippers are not going to make the playoffs. They're a losing organization. They've got a lot of systemic issues as manifested by what they did to Chris Paul, that Giannis would not go ahead and make them a championship team.
David,
so I'd send him there.
David, you ever catch a player faking an injury?
So, yes. But we've been a part of faking injuries, too. It's in baseball, it's called the Phantom IL. Funny enough, the Mets GM got in trouble for it, but every team uses it. So I don't know why they made an example of that Mets guy, and they got him in serious trouble, whose name is escaping me, Jeremy, right now. But you got this. You got this, Jeremy.
David Stearns?
No, that's the current guy. The Mets GM who got suspended for the Phantom use. Billy Epler, thank you. That's very nice of you. Yeah, of course we use it, but we choose injuries wisely. You can't choose a calf strain because you can look at the calf and see whether the Achilles sort of ran up it. The best injury that you can fake is 1, back soreness. No way to prove it.
Maybe like
2,
sciatica?
That's my favorite. We always would have, listen, you're not pitching well. We're going to put you on the IL, and we're going to say you've got arm soreness. Now, players and agents don't like when we would make up shoulder soreness because that could impact their free agency in later years, saying, oh, you had a sore shoulder, bad shoulder. So we would say arm soreness. Sometimes we would say non-pitching arm soreness. That's funny, right? What does that get sore from? And you're just doing it because you don't want the player in your rotation anymore because he just stinks, and you hope that sending him to Florida will somehow make him better. But Giannis, all of a sudden with a calf injury right after all this goes down, give me a break.
Really? You want another break? Are you accusing him of faking that?
I'm accusing Giannis of simply manipulating Milwaukeeans and our emotions to the benefit of him when he doesn't need any more benefits.
Are you accusing him of faking it? If you're asking him to give you a break because he's left the game with a non-contact injury, are you accusing him of faking it?
I didn't see a roll, Dan, did you? When the Achilles tears, you get a roll. For a calf strain, don't sit on the court. Get yourself over to the bench, and you're fine.
Answer the question.
Yes. It's too coincidental. There's no way that Giannis, they're going through all this. Doc Rivers has to fly and jump through ridiculous oral hoops trying to explain what's happening, and then all of a sudden he's not playing. What is he, Jimmy Butler?
Faking an injury, by the way, Dan, means Giannis doesn't have to talk post-game, which means he doesn't get asked about the rumors.
Whoa!
Tell me the next time Giannis talks to the media. When you're on the injured list and not playing, you are not responsible by rule to speak to the media, nor is the team responsible to give updates about that player to the media. You can completely ignore all inquiries.
Whoa! Can you answer the question of whether or not you have ever traded someone with sheer pettiness?
So, sheer pettiness, is that like 100 to 0 petty?
Well, you're saying with Giannis, you would send him to the worst possible place, and you're saying that's the Clippers because they don't have a future. And I would dispute that, but I understand why you're saying that. But you're saying don't care about what is the best offer for Giannis. Send him to a place that punishes him and do something that's not necessarily better for your franchise, just makes you feel better because you're being petty. So how often have you done that in your career? Certainly you've never done it with someone of this value. You wouldn't do it with someone of this value. But have you done a trade where you're just being petty, where you want to punish someone for who they are, what they've done, and so you send them to a bad place?
No, for those people, we just release them. In terms of pettiness, the only pettiness I ever did is when I wouldn't approve any trades within the division back when I thought that mattered. And it was such a stupid rule. It was so ridiculous that we would not even consider trades within the division because why would we help a team that we're competing with? But at the end of the day, that's totally asinine. You should try to get back the most you can. And it's hard enough to win a trade even when you have 29 other teams to work with. But when you shrink the sample size of teams you're willing to deal with, it just seems foolish. But with players, when we were unhappy with the player, we would just release the player. And if we were trading the player, it was really prospects who I never heard of. So it wouldn't be me saying, hey, I don't want this player. I don't want him on that organization. I would say to the baseball people, if that prospect you think is going to hit, we'll take that one. That seems fine by me.
Is Kyle Tucker going to get $400 million? Whoa.
Boy, would that be asinine. I mean, did you read where Kyle Tucker was touring the facilities in Dunedin? That was so great. There's been a spotting of Kyle Tucker in Toronto. Side note, the Blue Jays do have, people talk about the Dodgers and the Yankees. Do you know the Blue Jays have the best facilities of any team in Major League Baseball, Dodgers included? Yep. From spring training to the home clubhouse to all of the extras that their players get. It makes like Mark Cuban's Mavericks clubhouse look like a dump at Pro Player. This is the Blue Jays have great facilities, but Kyle Tucker will not sign with the Blue Jays, nor will anyone, because of Dunedin and how great it is to be at spring training for 2 months a year. That's just funny.
But you don't think he's going to get $400 million?
So he is someone who helps your team but doesn't define your team. And I would like to reserve, although baseball's gotten away from all of us, but $400 million better be someone who defines your team. And Kyle Tucker is a championship piece. He is not a championship maker. The irony is that the Blue Jays are looking for championship pieces because of the team they've put together, but putting $400 million to that, to me, would be excessive. I mean, again, if it's $400 million over 20 years with no deferrals, I'm good.
Jeremy,
he's about a $25 million player for me. That's
Jeremy,
it.
Can you look up for me how much money Tom Brady made in his career and if Kyle Tucker is going to make more money than Tom Brady made in the entirety of his exceptionally long career?
It's a terrible thing that you're doing because you could do that in any sport, and you could take a current player who's mediocre making a ton of money, and they will have made more money than, Don Mattingly or Andre Dawson.
Yeah, but Tom Brady played recently and played for a long time and played at a time where salaries were plenty good.
Not anywhere near the way they are now.
Well, no,
There
but
are
no,
such-
not anywhere near where they are now. But the point I'm making isn't about salaries or inflation. The point I'm making is how baseball doesn't have a salary cap, and therefore the owners can't control themselves. And this is what ends up happening, where you get the absurdity of, I'm guessing Kyle Tucker has made more in his career than Tom Brady made.
Tom Brady made $332 million, but to David's defense here, to his point, in the 20 years with the Patriots, it was 235. In 3 years with the Bucks, it was 97 million. So that shows the way that salary escalated over the course of his career.
He's making more money broadcasting than he did in his career.
But Kyle Tucker's about to make more than he makes
More than all that,
broadcasting.
yeah.
That's correct as well. And it's asinine, but it's because baseball doesn't have a salary cap. That's the
It's not. It's not. Football has a salary cap. Why don't we examine football players who are making more on an average basis than Tom Brady ever
There's
did?
no one making $400 million contracts in football other than the Mahomes types. And even he doesn't have it. Does he have a $400 million contract? It's pretty close.
Over a career. So remember, in football, it's very rare. Kyle Tucker, if he gets 400, he'll be looking at a 7 to 10 year deal, let's say. And those type of long-term deals in football are just harder to come by. Obviously, Mahomes did, but there's not a huge number of players. In baseball, the average contract length is greater, ironically, and it's all guaranteed. So it's totally ass backward. Football should have the longer deals because none of it is really guaranteed, although now they try to guarantee more at signing than they ever had. But I would be in favor of longer-term deals if none of it was guaranteed. But there are a bunch of football players who are mediocre, who are making plenty of money, more than they ever should have, but that's just a function of how high the cap is because of how high the revenue is.
I have a couple of baseball questions. What was that? Are you okay, Tony?
Bless you.
Sorry.
I have a couple of baseball questions that you might have some expertise for us on. I saw that Anthony Rendon, most recently when I checked, was in negotiations on a buyout with the Angels. He signed one of those absurd contracts, 7 years, $245 million. I was surprised that it was already over and at the end of that contract. Can you take me through what the last year of a negotiation on something like that would be? Like, how do you get to the buyout stage of a guaranteed contract where everyone's unhappy?
Well, let me just rewind a little bit. Anthony Rendon won the World Series in 2019, and he was a sought-after free agent, the best position player free agent at the time. All 30 teams would have loved to have had Anthony Rendon, and he just ended up being a dog. He ended up not performing, being injured, and not liking baseball, not being a good teammate, basically helping bring a franchise down where already the slope for the Anaheim Angels of LA was headed down. Now that he's in the last year of his deal, they talk about buyouts, but they're really lying to you. The union will not allow Anthony Rendon to take $1 in diminished guarantee. He is owed, call it $39 million this year. Just make up a number, but I think I'm close. The union will not say, okay, negotiate a buyout where you get $20 million. No, that's not how it happens. The Angels could waive him and then still pay him the money every 2 weeks from April to September, but he wouldn't take up a roster spot, and he's still getting his money. Or they could buy him out, which is code word for what happened, the NBA player,
Chris Paul.
Lillard.
Oh.
Lillard, big thing where what they do is they spread it out, and so that it's a smaller hit this particular year, but he ends up getting more money over more years. That's what you can do in a buyout, and that helps your tax payroll, is that if you renegotiate, and so Rendon would get $42 million, but paid out over 5 years, then the present value of that would be, the effect would be a smaller tax hit for a team like the Angels. So that is a factor, and that's what you're negotiating, but you're not negotiating a smaller amount of money, ever.
Can you give me any insight into what is happening with the Padres, and how often have you ever seen a manager of a team that is a playoff team just quit a couple of years in when he's saying he's got to take care of just himself and wants to move on?
Didn't he take another job? like almost immediately. Isn't he in player development now? I may be confused.
He's a coordinator of instruction for the Baltimore Orioles, but obviously that's a different type of workload than an everyday Major League manager.
Yeah, I assume that he couldn't stand the sight of Preller anymore and that he had just had enough, and that's sort of a common thing in the game. If a manager's just had it with his GM and the owner in the power struggle chooses the GM. We chose the GM almost always. Sometimes we chose the manager when there were power struggles, but you got to choose one. It is just not good. My first experience in baseball was with Felipe Alou and Jim Beattie, and they couldn't stand each other.
Felipe Alou.
And it was just untenable. So we
Jim
just fired
Beattie.
Felipe. So that's what I assume happened with Mikey and AJ. I assume the Seidler family, but the team is being sold. It's a disaster up in San Diego. They've lowered their payroll significantly because they were irresponsible, spending like drunken sailors, signing players, not winning, losing money hand over fist, and finally MLB said that's enough. You got to lower your payroll, and so they did. Then Peter Seidler croaks, and now they lowered even more, and now all of a sudden they're selling the team.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Did you think that drunken sailors spent too much at Le Batard Show?
David, what do you believe happened with Chris Paul the other night?
Sorry, it's emotional.
I know, I get choked up when I think about it. What do you believe happened with Chris Paul the other night, and what do you make of the way the Clippers handled it?
So Dan and I don't know, Dan, if you listen to this morning, it's nothing personal, but you are 100% correct. And it ain't a loogie. Something must have happened, because to have this happen in the middle of the night is so irresponsible. And you said a crime. I thought about that. You know, if a player gets arrested, we're going to deal with that, and we probably wouldn't do the release until the next day. There's no reason to do the release in the middle of the night unless somebody's life is in danger. And even then, you'd call the police, you'd call your resident security agents. You wouldn't have to waive a player. And funny enough, the middle of the night, those hours, your roster, the way it works in sports is your roster's on a computer, on a league-wide computer, and you remove a player from your roster, which enables you to add a player to your roster. That's not happening at 3 a.m. So there's hours for roster movement. That ain't it. So I have no idea why the Clippers would have done it unless something were so acute, like he tried to grab the controls of the plane and bring it down. I can't even imagine what it could have been for them to have done it that way. You say he deserved better. I say it doesn't even matter what type of player it is. I wouldn't even do it to one of our scrubs who I hated out of spite, because it causes me to have to talk more to the media, which I don't want to do. So that is why what the Clippers did is inexplicable to me.
Can we get a ruling here on what Jonathan Zaslow was saying here from an impartial source? Tell me what you hear here.
Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul.
What is that? What is the whole of the Bucks? What does that mean? I don't get that.
He took the Bucks' soul.
Took the Bucks. Oh, you like their ass? That's funny.
No, it's soul.
Hey, come on, let's listen again. Let him listen again.
Let's listen again.
He took the Bucks' soul.
He took the butt. Wait. Oh, sorry. You said butthole. I got it wrong. I'm not.
No, you're
hearing
nailing
great.
this.
No, you're getting everything
2 for
right.
2.
But Jonathan Zaslow claims that he said very clearly, and claims that the sound here vindicates him, that he said Buck's soul.
Jimmy Butler and the Heat took the Bucks' soul.
Well, you skipped an S, Zaz.
No. I think every time that it's played, I'm vindicated further.
No.
He took the
Well,
Bucks'
now you're just being bitty, but that's funny. That's good. That's good for what you're doing in the show. So proud of you each day showing up and saying that, but it just makes you sound stupid.
He took the Bucks' soul.
Yeah.
But maybe that's good. Keep going.
Little pregnant pause.
He took the Bucks'
You
soul.
need 2 S's, buddy. Bucks soul.
He took the Bucks' soul.
You love the movies, and we're going to review some movie with you here. But before we do that, I saw that November's box office at the movies was a complete disaster. All 14 of the movies were box office flops. Sydney Sweeney has now had 4 straight flops. Nicolas Cage is in a movie where he plays Jesus' dad. It cost $10 million to make. It brought in $143,000.
Stop. I thought Jesus' dad was God. Do I have that wrong?
It's Nicolas Cage.
That was Joseph.
It's Nicolas
Sorry.
Cage. Nicolas Cage.
I know you're an Old Testament guy.
That was.
I'm with you, David.
But he took a movie part. Nicolas Cage will do just about anything. He's kind of like Kevin Hart that way. And Nicolas Cage had a $10 million movie where he's playing Jesus' dad, and it made $143,000 at the box office. And you think what of what is happening with the movie theaters? Because November was an all-time bad month for the movie.
Jesus, did he wear like long gray hair?
Yeah, well, yes.
Like, what does it mean?
Yes.
What's the plot of the movie?
It was
with
a teenage
dad?
Jesus. It was not Baby Billy. It was not Baby Billy from Righteous Gemstones, but it was. He's the father of Jesus. We can leave it at that. It did not do well, but it was a historically bad month for movies.
While you say that, though, I think Zootopia was like a top 4 opening weekend of all time.
I dragged my daughter to see that.
I was going to do the same this weekend. Is it worth seeing? Zootopia? Do you have to have seen the first one to see the second one?
I love the first one.
I would watch the first one. It's good. The first one's good. I'm going to see the second one.
I'm feeling great.
Dan, I went to a theater to see One Battle After Another. And I sat in a recliner for 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I wore sleeves in such a way where nothing ever touched anything. And so I didn't touch any part of the theater. I didn't leave my seat. I didn't eat any of the movie candy. I brought in my own candy. I brought in my own water.
Wow.
And I arranged the theater and the seat in that I didn't see anybody on my horizon, so I wasn't doing what I normally do with my short body where I can't see and I have to look in between people's shoulders. And I didn't love the experience. And I know Tom Cruise is sad about that because he wants, and Martin Scorsese, et cetera. But no, theaters, I would go full GameStop, Mikey, on theater stock. I'm just not in. But that doesn't mean movies are failures anymore.
I'm out on the reclining movie seat. Yeah. Like, just give me
the
the
only
old
way I'll
school
go.
seat. Give me the old school seat.
Why would you be out on the reclining?
Because I
movie
fall
seat?
asleep.
But you have the option of either one.
Yeah, but I don't want the option because I'm going to take it. I don't go full because I know I'm out. So what I try to do is like the halfway where the feet are up a little, but you're not really
No,
reclining
you need to
back.
be a little bit uncomfortable so you don't fall
It's
asleep.
just not for me. Give me the old school seat.
I think it's totally fine if you fall asleep during a movie, and that's why it's better to watch them at home. Because if you fall asleep, I don't know if you. This is happening to me more than it ever has, where I find myself that I have to rewind and watch parts of a movie over again, and that is brand new to me, Dan. And so now I really can't go to a theater because I'd have to stand up. I had something happen to me this week where I made an issue in public that I probably shouldn't have done. I don't know if we have time to talk about it. I'm trying to change myself and become more tolerant, but I checked my daughter out of the emergency room without being discharged. I just walked out. I literally just walked out and I made a scene. And I'm thinking I shouldn't have done that.
And that ties into what it is that we're talking about. How beyond your remorse?
With a theater, that if I miss something in a theater, I want to stand up and tell a projector person, hey, play that again. Well, I missed that part.
I was watching Wicked and I wanted captions. I was
You were watching Wicked.
They should have like the 2:30 showing will have captions.
Well, let's examine this for a second because he just brought up something that I had not considered, which is as the movie theater dies and as many people are saying, no, I prefer the convenience of just being able to watch something at home whenever it is that I want. I hadn't considered the fact that you can just fall asleep in a way you can't at a movie theater because you could just rewind it and start over, and the convenience of that. I was just thinking it's people who don't want to go out. You don't want to drag yourself to the theater, but I wonder how high on the list I would put for people in terms of what their comfort is on changed viewing habits. The fact that if they fall asleep during a movie, they could just go back and watch more of it because they're in the comfort of their home.
It's a top 5. The ability to fall asleep, the ability to take a call, the ability to stretch, the ability to eat your own food in whatever order and frequency you want. And then the 5th and most important is the ability to tell people to shut the hell up without worried about being shifted. That's the word. What's the word with the thing?
Shivved.
Shivved. The
Shivved.
ability to tell someone to shut up without being shivved. That's the top 5 reasons why you avoid a movie theater.
That's the number one for me.
Zaz, why were you laughing at him seeing Wicked? What's that about?
It's funny.
Why?
So wicked.
How do you think shivved is spelled if you thought it was shifted? You would do very poorly in prison.
Not because of that. It has nothing to do with not knowing the word shiv, I'm afraid. I would assume it's the Hebrew the SHIV, ED, apostrophe D, shiv.
Yeah, that could be shived.
Is it? I think it's 2 V's. Is it 2
Yeah.
V's or 1 V? Is shivved 1 V?
I'd take their word for it.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is shivved 1 V or
It's not shived, right?
It's 2 V's, just like Buck's soul is 2 S's.
Might be our worst poll of all time.
Thank you,
How to
Chris.
spell
I appreciate
shiv?
that. Go back to editing things with your mouth open. What is the movie you're reviewing? Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you respect someone less if when they think they have to have their mouth more open?
Real supportive group we got here. We were all so psyched when Zaz choked on the air.
He got emotional.
Like,
That was
yes,
great.
that's embarrassing. Isn't it great?
What is the movie you're reviewing for us this week, David?
I feel badly because we're in a great space and we're having fun, but I watched the new documentary on Apple, and it's called Come See Me in the Good Light. And it's about 2 women who are married to each other, and they are poets, and they do the spoken word. And one of them got incurable cancer, and it was their journey and how they manifested their new journey through the spoken word and through poetry. Incredibly powerful. To me, it is a candidate to be nominated for an Academy Award, though it made the shortlist. I don't know it'll make the final top 5 for an actual nomination, which happens next month. But I maybe just where my head is, it hit me the right way, or maybe I was happy to cry about someone else instead of my situation. So all of those things could have been a factor, but it really is a good movie in that you have an opportunity to hear someone manifest their lack of power, their lack of control, their mortality, and they do it in a really articulate way in front of huge amounts of people, because there's a whole group, and I never knew this existed, there's a whole group of people who go and listen to the spoken word in this way from people like this, and I just never knew that. And so it's called Come See Me in the Light, or Come See Me in the Good Light, and it's really worth your time.
So as you watch something like this, you had gone through a period where you were not watching movies. How long did that period last? What was the streak that was broken because you were watching movies every day? And when and how did you go about resuming your somewhat more regular routine?
So quickly, I used to watch a movie every day for decades. And then as of September 12th, my daughter got sick. I stopped able to watch movies. I tried to come back with a comedy and see if that would work. It did not. I've watched, one of the first movies I watched back was The Doctor with William Hurt, which is a movie that most of you have never heard of, with Elizabeth Perkins. And then I can't make it through a movie anymore. I get too distracted, which is why I can't go to a theater. I made it through one battle after another by some miracle, but I didn't enjoy the experience. So what I'm doing is watching a lot of movies in parts, so like 20 minutes at a time, which isn't great at all, but it's the best I can do with my phone doing what it's doing, or appointments that I have to go and deal with. But so the streak is dead. And it's not like the type where you start a brand new streak, because I haven't started one yet, so I don't know that I ever will again. But so I never get to say that I watch a movie every day. I used to say that every day on my show, Dan.
How long was that streak? How long was it?
I started in college. When I didn't drink in college, all I did was other stuff. And I would watch a movie every day because I didn't like going to classes. And I had that streak going all the way from 1980. I was in Wisconsin, so 1987 until 2025. And it was straight of 38 years where I was able to watch a movie every day. And now that's a long streak.
Can you tell me how much respect you lose for Chris Cote when I tell you that he thought the Yankee Clipper was a Fort Lauderdale hotel and not Joe DiMaggio?
Well, I assume that's your show and why I love your show and why it's so successful. There's no way Chris Cody didn't know that Joe DiMaggio's nickname was the Yankee Clipper.
Oh, no, he
I just
did not
assumed-
know.
This guy gets it.
No, I just assume that he wants to play that role, and he's good at it, and I love him. Of course. Now, I stayed in the Yankee Clipper when I came to Fort Lauderdale for spring break in college, and it was a absolute zoo. Just a zoo. And but of course, Cody knew who the Yankee
Great
Clipper
fourth
was.
floor.
He did not. Good seeing you, David. Always nice seeing you. Nothing Personal is the name of his podcast. It is excellent. I recommend it to anybody who's listening here. If you want to know more about sports business, if you want to know more about a lot of things that most sports media members cannot tackle the way that he tackles them. Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Great to see you.
Chris Cody.
Who's that idiot that brought up Zootopia?
Chris Cody.
It should be called Zootopia too. We'll get to that later.
Mentioned. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me talk. So Chris Cody said
hello
earlier, and he brought it up, and I did think it was funny that he's wondering whether the college football committee does indeed get together and every week they just don't know what to do. Like they're really wrestling with how it is to make some of these decisions, because I believe all of these old white men get together, and I believe they're getting together and saying, what do we need to do to make this the best television for next week? I believe that's part of the conversation. I don't think it's the entirety of the conversation, but I think it's absolutely part of the conversation. How do we create arguments that will sustain us for the next 6 weeks? What says college football more than the faces on these people? Is that Ivan Meisel? It is Ivan Meisel.
Isn't he a writer?
Yeah, he just wrote a book on Notre Dame too.
We got to get Ivan Meisel on the show and grill him, because I want to find out what's actually going on in these meetings. Ivan Meisel has covered college football for a long time.
What's going on over here?
And I think he's disgusted by Mike Riley. I think he's disgusted by Jeff Long. I think he's tired of Chris Alt and Troy Dannon. I think that all
Chris
of these
Alt's a good
people
man.
are bothering him at this point because
Chris Alt's good.
he
You like
cares.
Chris Alt.
He cares about college football, and I think he finds what is happening offensive. But do you think they get together and they're just genuinely like they're
do you
really
think they have it all
arguing
planned
about
out?
this?
Like, do you think that they have the next week, if this happens, or do you think it is still a heated debate and they just can't decide? And that, because I feel like that they have it all planned out, and I'm annoyed at that. I don't like, because I feel like they are going to do the thing.
I mean, Hunter Yurachek did come out and say, for several weeks, he always mentions a scenario that they didn't even bring up. They didn't even mention, they didn't even talk about that. Seems kind of wild. That was, we're not even going to touch that.
He's lying.
Right there.
He's lying. That's all it is.
But it can't be what Dan is saying, where how do we make this the best television product?
I think it's part of
that's
it.
what I'm saying,
I
is
think
that
it's
they
part
don't-
of it. I don't think it's
I don't
irrelevant.
think that's said out loud, though. You think that's said out
Yes.
loud?
Yes, I do.
Of
Yes.
like, how do we make people angry?
How do we create the most conversation? Yes, I don't believe it's something that's ignored. I don't believe they're going there in the spirit of purity and saying, let's not make a made-for-television
I have them as
product.
an actual jury that as soon as they agree, all right, that's it. Like, I don't know. Like,
Mike thinks Notre Dame is proper bleeped already.
Yes, they're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. BYU is not going to play a football game and not move in either direction. They could win, that screws Notre Dame. They could lose, then it puts Notre Dame and Miami right next to one another. And then we've gone from we don't know about tiers to the notion of pods to they're not in the same tier to they are in the same tier. No more buffer teams. You go toe-to-toe like they went on the field. I mean, forget Miami, yes, to make the playoffs. That's a different discussion. The bet to make here is Notre Dame to miss the playoffs.
I don't know, man. You're way more confident than I am.
You're counting on, like, if you're Notre Dame right now, you have a game between Texas Tech and BYU. It's going to affect the ranking.
What about the Boise game?
BYU is not going to stay still. Your one-team buffer is not going to be there.
they lose.
No, but that's why I asked, what about the Boise game?
Boise is playing a Mountain West championship
And what
against
if Boise
UNLV.
wins?
We'll see.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters.
Why
What
do you
you're
say it
hoping
doesn't
for?
matter?
The only reason that matters is if James Madison loses. Like, Boise is irrelevant unless James Madison loses and
Why?
maybe Duke wins.
It could affect
Why?
their-
It helps Notre Dame's strength of schedule.
It could, but like these teams are so close in strength of schedule. Like to cite any metric, I can.
Of
pull,
course, they're so close in everything, yet Notre Dame is still 2 spots ahead of Miami.
No,
So that's
they're
what
one,
I'm saying.
They're one spot ahead of Miami right now. If you're Notre Dame, here's what you're rooting for. You're rooting for BYU to stay idle somehow so you can keep having that, which is not going to happen. It's never happened in the history of the CFP, much like teams that have the same exact record. Two things have never happened. A team staying completely still after a conference championship game, win or loss, and two teams that have the same exact record and the team that lost a game being ahead of the team that won the game. That's never happened either. So you're hoping that Alabama gets its doors blown off by a head coach that's 1-8 all time against Alabama. I'm sorry, folks. Notre Dame is screwed.
Again?
Yes.
They did it again?
Yes.
Is that overt shit or what is that? Who's still?
Well, that's what.
Is that Barretto? Is that who's at it now?
This happened over the summer.
But who's doing that? Here, just turn it off.
Where?
Who's the step?
Le pauvre.
My God, that was incredible.
That was really
I am
good.
so
Merci,
jealous that
merci,
you can do that.
Christophe. Merci, Guillermo.
Well, the music ran out, but I think you should, because we didn't have an F1 minute today, I think you should give people a Lord of the Rings minute. Yes, I think you should give people...
Spoiler alert or no spoiler
Dangerous
alert?
game, man.
Dangerous game because of what?
To us, you can spoil as much as you want. So I say go for as many spoilers as you like.
All right, I'll give a spoiler of what happened at the end of the last
Hold on.
episode.
Let me get you
Hold
music.
It was insane. Okay, so spoiler. Do not listen if you don't want to know what happened in the last episode of The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. So Galadriel and Halbrand, who everyone thinks might be Sauron, they go from Numenor back to Middle-earth, and they're in the Southlands. And the guy who's like the head elf of the Southlands, who's trying to help protect all the people who are getting invaded by the ORC army, they're trying to figure out how to get the orcs to go away, the ORC army, and to get free of them. And right now, a lot of people are calling it Before-Dor. We think they're in Mordor before it becomes Mordor, before Mount Doom erupts. Interesting, because there's been a mountain that they've shown a couple times in different scenes throughout the series, right? So we're like, okay, how are the people going to defeat the orcs? Because the orcs, the ORC army, they're badasses, and they have this guy who's a leader, and his name's Adar, which means father, and we're like, maybe he's Sauron. But he's trying to get this thing that looks like a sword, but it's actually like kind of a key, and it looks like it's in the shape of Mordor. So he's trying to get that, and this little kid Theo has it, and his mom Bronwyn is in charge of all these people. So they trap the orcs inside the Elven Tower, and then the orcs come to the town, the ones that survive, and it looks like the people beat the orcs, but then the orcs come back. There's more orcs, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Galadriel and Halbrand and the Numenorians charge in on their horses, and they save all the people, and it's like, holy shit. And so Galadriel finally finds Adar, and she's like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what your deal is. Are you Sauron? What's going on here? And he's like, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to be mysterious. And then Halbrand comes in.
We needed to get an expert on to talk about the question that plagued us for 24 hours from yesterday, which is, if a piece of pizza walked, would it walk? If it walked upright, not slithered across the floor on all fours, but if it walked on two legs, would the crust be at the bottom or the top? So we went to get Spice Adams, who is here on behalf of Red Baron Pizza, so that we can get some expertise on this subject. And we now welcome in the former NFL player. He's a comedian, he's a host, he's an entertainer. And we ask him the question, what is your vote here? Thank you for joining us, Spice. What is your vote on how a piece of pizza walks? Is the crust at the top or at the bottom?
How it walks?
If it had two legs,
it's a good question.
We're painting an odd picture.
It is a good question for you to ask. I appreciate that you interrogate me that way. But yes, that is the question I am asking you. If it walked on ostensibly two legs like a human being.
Has to be the weirdest question he's ever had to start an interview.
Upright, you think? It's why we're having him on behalf of Red Baron Pizza. He is here as an expert. It's the reason we're having him. So answer the damn question, Spice.
On the bottom. Everybody knows that. Duh.
But what do you consider the bottom? The crust or the pointy end?
The crust goes on the bottom, he's saying.
The pointy end.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so
Right.
it's settled. Cool. I'm sorry that we frustrated you.
I mean,
with
that's
this one.
how
It was a real
that's how I
brainbuster.
would picture it walking.
Yeah. Although humans, slender point is at the top. We didn't discuss that.
You know what? Put it on the poll.
Well, he don't really do leg day.
Put it on the poll
Pizza
at Le
really don't
Batard
do leg
Show.
day.
Is the bottom of the pizza the pointy end or the crust? Because I thought the crust was the bottom end of the pizza. That's how I was thinking.
Do you
of
eat it backwards?
No, but
Okay.
I was just
Pointy end's the
thinking.
bottom.
I get what you're saying, but I never considered it before this moment.
Do you even eat pizza, Dan?
Y'all must argue all the time.
It's an important conversation.
It is.
Got to.
I'm glad we're having it. I also wanted to talk some football with him, but before I do that, I wanted to talk a little bit about your ascent into entertainment. How did you get involved with Shaquille O'Neal? Where and when did you know that you wanted to be something in entertainment beyond being a football player?
Well, this entertainment has kind of been what I've been doing my whole life. You know, I don't have any brothers and sisters, so I always wanted to entertain people, so they always want to come back over to my house. And then by the time I turned 14, I've been this same size and height since I was 12. When I was 12, I was 290 pounds. And so I looked like a grown man. My mom took me to a Little League practice, and they thought I was one of the coaches. They said, you know, just for fun, have them get on the scale. And then I was 290 at 12. So I've been right. So when I turned 14, my mom made me play football, and I've been playing football ever since. But when I retired, I felt like, man, what am I going to do now? And I just kind of gravitated towards entertainment because that's all I've been doing my whole life. So everything all worked out. And it's been a great ride, man. I had a lot of fun, but I like to shout out all my teammates, man, who dared me into doing it, man. They was like, man, go out there, man. We see how funny you are in the locker room, but nobody else really get a chance to do it. So shout out to Earl Bennett, shout out to Chris Harris, because they were the main ones who were like, man, you need to get on this social media stuff. You built for it. But all I wanted to do was play football and have my fingers look like this.
Yeah, I was just noticing his fingers, Dan. How'd that happen?
Yeah, they all
Well,
jacked
no,
up.
wait a minute.
I'm
You
throwing
said-
up the west side, and I ain't even really doing this. Like, I'm not, like, this is just how my fingers are. Just throwing. I can't put my fingers on a flat surface. They all just pop right up from grabbing all these years.
You say, how did that happen, Zaz? That is something that football players just laugh about, right? The dislocated finger, the idea that you would catch your finger between helmets. You guys are built differently than the rest of us, right? You can't pull change out of a place. What are some of the things you can't do because of what football has done to your hands?
Like, get out of bed, maybe.
Well, your
like,
hands.
just regular stuff.
I wasn't talking about the entirety of your body. I'm just talking about your hands, because people don't understand what it takes to do what it is you do and what the sacrifice is.
Yeah, this is just kind of what you sign up for, man. Like, that's how you can tell if somebody plays defensive line or not. You can just look at their fingers. But this is what you sign up for, man. And you know, sometimes it's hard to put on gloves because all your fingers they're like. Have you seen Torrey Holt's fingers?
Yeah.
Like, his fingers
It's a
look
90
like they
degree
got a
angle.
mind of their own. Like, all his fingers look like they're getting lost.
They can't be
like,
Brian
they all
Baldingers.
look like they're just doing like
No,
this. Like,
Torrey
they're all
Holt-
going different. I don't know how he put gloves on.
His job is to catch footballs, and his pinky finger is a 90-degree angle. It's insane.
It looks like Anthony Munoz's fingers, just like this.
I thought.
It's
I thought Baldinger was the standard there
Yeah.
in terms of weird fingers. I didn't think that wide receivers had that problem, though. I thought it was interior linemen more than wide receivers.
Catching balls from Kurt Warner, Dano?
We're pulling
That's
up.
how you know he catches with his hands.
Those are Torrey Holt's hands. We're showing the audience Torrey Holt's hands right now.
His fingers are ridiculous. I'm telling you, they all look like they're getting lost.
I want to ask you a handful of football questions about what you presently see happening in the league. When you see Ben Roethlisberger throwing out the idea that Mike Tomlin should leave the Steelers to go coach Penn State, your alma mater, your alma mater is in disarray because James Franklin has left and took the recruiting class with him.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't. Roethlisberger said that?
Yep.
That's it. You know, as much as I would love to see that, I love Terry Smith. I think they should just hire Terry Smith. I mean, he's played there. His dad played there. Like he's a legacy. And he understands everything there is to know about Penn State football. He's passionate about it, and he's took a team that was they didn't know where they were gonna go next. They were lost. He took a team that had someone take their leader from them, and he got them to get to a bowl game. He got them to get that fire again. He's speaking to these kids' parents to let them know, like, hey, they're still in good hands, even though we fired Coach Franklin, but I'm here. So he has these players, like, in his corner, and they love him. And he has these guys on fire right now. So why not hire from within and hire someone who understands Penn State tradition? So I say keep Terry Smith.
Spice, you're a very famous meme where you're in the yellow jacket, rubbing your hands together, crooked fingers, behind the tree. When did you realize, whoa, like, this is a really famous meme now?
I knew it was famous when I saw what I was looking at. I was looking at a Red Baron pizza. This Red Baron pizza.
This guy gets
right
it. I think you've been asked this question on this story
This
before.
is bullshit. This is his segue into promoting the pizza.
looking at this Red Baron
That's
pizza.
not true in any way. He's totally lying right
And
now.
guess what? If y'all into fantasy football league, y'all could get this humble pie. Y'all can get this humble pie at redbaron.com/humble pie between now and December 15th. If you lose in fantasy football league, you ain't got to worry about sprinting a marathon or doing all that crazy stuff. Just eat you some humble pie, man. Got the Red Baron Carolina Reaper sauce on there. Got the spicy mozzarella ghost pepper cheese. It got cayenne pepper on the pepperoni, habanero, jalapeno, and habanero flakes all over the pizza. That's what I was looking at behind the tree like this.
Seamless.
Spice, that is nonsense. What you just did, you just turned on the promotional.
The man's an entertainer, Dan.
You turned on.
I didn't even notice. What did he do?
The promotional
I
red
was
light.
telling you I was just answering y'all questions.
That was an
What you
ad?
talking about?
I'm going to get a humble pie.
I don't even think that pizza
Please
was invented.
Go to
when he did that.
redbaron.com/humble pie. Now in December 15th, you can do that.
Get out of here.
That pizza was not invented when you did that.
Get out of here, Spice.
I don't believe you.
And when I say get out of here, I don't mean it sort of figuratively. I'm telling you
We
to
have to
leave.
wrap.
You have to
We
go.
have to wrap,
You
Tony.
Have to go. Get out of here. Everyone, you, that lady, that
Tony,
lady-
we gotta go.
Get out of here. Who is that person talking to me, yelling? We got to go.
We got to go, Tony.
It's a hard out, Tony.
Tony,
it's a hard out.
all right.
Did you
Bye,
see what he
Tony.
did?
Your
Did you
real
see-
name is Tony.
Take a bite of the pizza.
Did you see what
going on
Spice
here?
just did to me? Spice just
bring the whole thing down.
That pizza does look good,
Spice,
though.
we gotta wrap.
We heard you the first 3 times. The first 3 times we got to
that
wrap.
Dan Sampson?
We got to wrap.
Hey,
There's an
Wrap,
urgency
wrap,
here.
wrap.
It's
They
end
call
Zoom.
them the
End
rappers.
Zoom.
Get out of here.
End Zoom.
And the Zoom. Spice has to go. Get Tony out of here. Everybody
Tony, you
out
have
of
to
here.
go. You
Tony,
have to
out of
go.
here.
Rap. They call him the rapper.
That was
That's a great
total,
Cody song.
unequivocal bullshit. What just happened at the end there?
What was that song?
How did that lady get on our
I
air?
wanted to ask him about the Great American Baking Show. Jeremy wanted some advice on how to be a game show host.
That's all I want in my
He
life.
had to get his plug in. He knew he had a heart out. I didn't know he had a heart out. Tony didn't know he had a heart out. And then that woman
You
started
really messed that
yelling
one
at
up,
us.
Tony.
That woman just started screaming at us.
And it's a shame. I could have talked to that guy forever. Our chemistry was incredible.
How is it that person ended up live on air with us?
I thought it was David Sampson, like a drop of David Sampson saying, we got to rap, Tony. I was like, where is
They're on
he?
the Zoom listening, and then they mic themselves. That used to happen when we were on the radio. I used to get a
All
phone
the
call on the other
time.
guest line, like, I'm trying to tell them.
Sometimes it will be on the air.
Yeah.
Sometimes on the air.
Sometimes, yeah.
But how is
our
it?
First time on Zoom.
Okay, let me explain something to Red Baron and that lady.
I don't like that lady.
Your time constraints cannot be so 10 minutes that you're yelling at me in the middle of what it is we're talking about out here and saying we got to wrap Tony in the middle of the program that we're doing.
And stop trying to break up with me. We broke up with you first. The tie goes to Dan. He said get out of here well before they said we got to wrap Tony.
And the reason I
Oh,
said...
we just figured it out.
I know who Tony is. I figured it out. Spice Adams' name is Anthony.
Oh. Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, I mean, I cracked that code. Seymour and also.
His name's Tony, Dan.
Got by me. Thought you were talking to him.
I'm still angry about what Tony did to us there, where Zaz asked a legitimate question about the meme, and he went straight into his promotion because he knew he had a minute left before Tony had a hard out, and that woman started yelling at everyone in our audience, including Tony.
Specifically me. I was like, I didn't even say anything. What do you want me to do?
She wasn't talking to him.
His name is Tony.
A couple of Tonys cutting it up.
We need to make sure that we talk to the good people at Red Baron and never let them do that again to us.
I like Red Baron, Dan.
I like Red Baron a lot,
It's a good frozen pie.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
The humble pie. I don't
The
know about
roast
that.
pepper sauce. That made me choke
That was
a
good
little
for
bit,
Red Baron, though. Like, that's...
You were saying, Tony, that you like Red Baron at least in part because as it relates to pizza that's easy to make for yourself, it's extra doughy. That you've got that it's not flimsy with its doughiness. It's you like it.
No,
you
but sometimes the Red Baron they got the thin cut.
No, I like the thick.
Oh, you like the thick?
I like the
I like the
thick.
thin cut. It's like a very not cracker, but very tough, very crispy. I like that.
I like it thick with 2 C's.
We have to wrap.
How does that not sound like David Sampson?
We have to wrap.
Well, it does sound like David Sampson.
I
But
thought it was him.
but
This
I
might
also,
be a guy.
I also thought it was an old woman, though.
We have to wrap.
I feel good about that.
Well, do you feel good about it being an old woman or an old man?
We have to wrap.
Yeah, to me, that sounds like a woman.
I think it's a man.
We have to wrap.
Yeah, I think it's a man.
It's an aggressive.
I think we should stay in these waters.
It's an aggressive. Well, look, it already got to awkward. We might as well stay here. It's a specialty of ours. I've got some random person yelling at Tony that we didn't know was his name. I've been referring to him as Spice the entire time. I didn't know he was Tony. I thought he was yelling at Claudiude, and I didn't know where the voice came from. I also didn't know, as an added bonus, whether it was just in my ear or everybody was hearing it. Like I
the same thought.
because I've got a bit of air traffic control system in my ear where I've got 17 different voices, and then you know what my reaction is? And it should never happen on our show. My reaction is, who the hell is that?
You almost screamed at Lewis. I saw it. You almost did.
It felt like a Lewis mistake. I'm not gonna lie when it was happening.
I didn't know whether it was private, whether it was public. I didn't know whether it was this Tony. I didn't know the Spice was named Tony. I didn't know we were out of time. I didn't know there were time limits with Spice Adams. Nobody informed me of anything. What is the great urgency with Spice that he's got to get out of here after exactly 9 minutes with such urgency that he crams in his promotion, and furthermore, and I don't like this part either, turns on the energy the moment it is time to just chill pizza.
Mm-hmm. And I'll pull back the curtain. He was early.
He was 10 minutes early.
This was a 10:30 Eastern hit.
We have to wrap.
You have to rap for who? Us?
I would like to have a conversation with the people who gave us Spice Adams, in which I explained to them, and I'm going to try and keep my hostility down. You didn't let me ask about the Great American Baking Show. You didn't tell me that I had a limit on my time. You got him out after 9 minutes, and the only thing that he did at the end that had energy was shill pizza. And that's bullshit.
That Penn State answer, though.
He was surprised by that. I was breaking news.
The interim was 3-3.
That's why.
We have to wrap.
Really rallied those troops.
I feel good that that's an old woman.
You're sure? Because I'm not.
We have to wrap.
And put it on the poll as well. Does David Sampson sound like an old woman? Because
we have to wrap.
It does sound like David Sampson. I can't dispute.
We have to wrap.
I thought it was in my headset. We have to rap Tony, and I'm listening. I'm like, okay, like, what do you want me to do about it? Like, Dan's doing the interview.
Dan seems like he's pretty well on his way to kicking him out. I hear
We
you.
have to wrap.
Why
I don't know
Samson
if I was listening to that interview right there, I would think that Tony was the point person.
I want to backtrack here for a second on something that we were talking about as it related to Chris Paul, because there's been some sound I've been wanting to get to since Monday that I've not been able to get to, which is since Pablo Torre ruined the Clippers, There is not a whole lot of interesting going on around the Clippers that is positive. It's mostly negative. And we have sound here of Clippers announcers during a game, okay? They do not talk about the game. You guys tell me if you know what it is that's going on in the game. Their job is to talk about the action in the game. But I think they are in this Lou Riddick chuckle fuck situation where the Pittsburgh-Miami game was so bad that they end up at the end just doing Mike Ryan's propaganda because the game wasn't close and they just had to talk about other things, and a fine thing to talk about would be the debate, the sports debate around the University of Miami.
These guys, these Clippers broadcasters just get into some debate about some trivia question. We don't even have the trivia question. They're reacting to some previous trivia question, and they go about 3 minutes hardly even referencing the game at all.
So I go back to that trivia question that you sprung on me. Ambushed is a better word. The trios in the NBA.
I didn't ambush.
The whole premise,
what was it ambush?
So the whole premise of the question was way off.
No, it was not. Verbatim. No. You tell me. No, I'm not telling you.
The zoo wheels inside.
You tell me exactly what I asked you.
What was the first trio of family members?
I didn't say what was the first. I didn't say that.
The last?
I didn't say that.
Go ahead, then give me the question.
No.
Because I'll tell you where it's off.
Okay. Would it be Mr. Main Event? That was his nickname. Get it? No, you don't.
I do get it.
Why?
Well, you could go one of two ways. Boxing had a main event. Also, a little thing called the WWF.
There are
had
players
a main
running back and forth that they're not.
do the
paying-
sneakers.
See, that's what I'm saying. See,
trying to
now
listen
you
to
want
the
to twist
fight.
my
It was a
question.
play on words.
No. I just asked you.
So give me the question.
No, I'm not getting. See, that's what I'm waiting on.
Give me the question.
I forgot it. Sorry, it's out of my memory.
Because your premise is inaccurate, and that's the whole reason that it threw off my equilibrium.
So you just can't say you didn't know. You were wrong.
Ask me the question.
I don't know how I asked it.
Just give me the topic.
It was name. It was a trio. Right?
Family members in the NBA.
Yeah. 3. I said 3.
And that's why the whole thing is erroneous.
What? It's 3.
For flag controls. I'm going to let you marinate in this for just a moment. So you said trio.
And you kept going duo. Duo.
Well,
You kept
I said
yeah,
duo.
You said duo.
Because the answer isn't the Berries. You have Rick Barry, John Barry, our favorite Barry, Brent Barry, and then
I said same team.
the youngest brother, Drew Barry.
I said same team.
I don't recall that.
Oh yeah, so that's why it was the Nance.
That's why I completely
No. You didn't miss. You didn't miss. I said they played for the same team.
Christie in the corner for 3.
That's the first game action they
Max
gave
Christie.
you.
See what I'm saying? That's what threw you off. Because you had duo, but you didn't have trio for the same team. Just admit it, man. It's okay. So I'm gonna put a button on this. You were going to say the 4 Bears that played in the league, right? I asked you specifically for the same team or franchise. I mean,
Maybe
we got the
you did.
tape.
Maybe you did. We're not going to roll it.
So remember that when one of your boys has something and they use it.
Let's get a quick word for Monday.
Why do we put a button on things? Why is there a button put on things?
I don't think we do. We put a bow on it.
Put a pin in it.
Is it a pin? So he said, but he did say, I'm going to put a button on this.
Maybe just a button.
You put a
this
bow
thing.
when you're done with it.
You button
put
it
a
up.
pin if you're like not done yet.
You got to go back to
A pin is I want to continue.
Yeah.
That's
A
also
bow-
when you send someone your location.
He meant bow.
So a pin is like a bookmark. Putting a pin in it is something you come back to. Putting a bow on it is something that's finished. But what happens when you put a button on it?
He meant bow.
Okay.
You close it,
So,
I
but
guess?
is there not a button put on it? There's not. It's just he might have meant bow. I don't know what he meant because they described no part of the game. I'm hoping that was radio. I think there were like 9 3-pointers made while they were arguing
TV.
about that.
To put a button on it comes from the theater world, where it means to add a final touch to a scene or provide closure, a sense of completion. It's been used since at least the 1930s.
I don't believe it.
Okay, but that doesn't really explain. Like, while I know what it means to put a button on something, and he did use it correctly.
So on brand for Jeremy with that correction.
Well, it wasn't correction. He was trying to add, but all he did was explain something I already knew. I want to know why the button was put on it. So is the button the last thing that gets put on a costume? Is it the final?
I'm on it.
Yeah, I just was curious about that. Thank you. I appreciate you moving us off of that.
We got to wrap, Dan. We got to wrap.
We were going to stay on that sound longer than they bickered.
We got to wrap, Tony. We got to wrap.
It's like, what the hell did I do?
I am going.
We have to wrap.
I want you guys. I want you guys to get for me, okay? Everyone involved with marketing at Red Baron Pizza, so that I can have a conversation with them after the show to explain to me how it is that they thought that was the way to handle
How
that
do they think
situation.
that's appropriate?
We have to wrap.
It's a live show. Let me just go on the intercom here and tell someone named Tony, which we learned was Spice, it's time to wrap. That bothers me. I hate that.
We are getting to the bucket here, the Dentech bucket. I will remind everybody to put their mouthpieces in, and I will remind everybody listening to this that if you have any headaches in the morning, if you do not know that you're grinding your teeth while you sleep at night, Dentech is a way to alleviate that. I know this because it was happening to me, and I was able to get some headaches out of my life that I didn't even know were happening because I was grinding my teeth.
That's right, Dan. The bucket is presented by Dentech's Ultimate Fantasy Football Punishment. Learn more and sign your league up at dentech.com.
Jeremy, what did you pick there?
So I never thought that I would have a team playing the Cleveland Browns that I would want to put back. But this is the Titans, so I'm putting it back.
We have to wrap.
They are 4.5 point underdog at Cleveland. By the way, the one of the helmets or some of the helmets that you'd like, Carolina, the Giants, New England, and San Francisco are on a bye. You picked the Colts. The Colts
I've
are
got the
at
Colts
the
at
Jags.
the Jags.
They're a 2.5 point favorite at
I'll
the
take
Jags.
it.
Jags are frisky, Dan.
The Jigs.
Colts favorite on the road.
We have to
The
wrap.
money does not believe in the Jags because they continue to be underdogs in games at home, even though they've got an 8-4 record.
You know the Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since 2014?
I did not know that.
You know who the quarterbacks were? Andrew Luck and Chad Henne.
I know Spiro Didish was there for it.
We have to wrap.
New York Giants. That sounds bad.
I think they're on a bye.
Ooh.
Yeah, Dan said they're on a bye.
Giants got a bye. Congratulations.
He just put that back.
No one is happy for you.
Here we go. Let's see what I got here. I got the Dallas Cowboys tonight in a game that is a live or die game on Thursday Night Football. It's a do or die game, Daniel. I don't know.
They are a 3.5 point dog against Detroit. Look at their schedule, by the way. This is their last hard game, and furthermore, they have the potential to win out and not make the playoffs.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Detroit loses, I think they're on a similar path where they're out of the playoffs too. So it's like, can Dallas win and maybe get some help to go to the playoffs, or is Detroit going to lose and get out of the playoffs? I'm gonna put that one back. Too high a stakes.
A 3.5 point dog.
Yeah, too high a stakes
Detroit.
in that game. I got him again, so it doesn't matter. We got to wrap.
I don't think that we're supposed to. This has happened to me a couple of times. I think we're supposed to take that helmet out and keep it out.
No,
I don't think
that's why you put it back for that possibility. We've only done this for 10 years.
I got the Eagles. They are at
They're at the Chargers, and they're a 3.5 point favorite at the Chargers.
Justin Herbert had surgery on his non-throwing hand. He's going to play in the game.
right now.
Why are you doing the Steph Curry mouth guard thing?
why I
Put
did
that
this.
shit in your mouth.
Packers.
The Packers are
Big game against the Bears, Dan.
Oh, that is a big game.
Okay, bigger favorite. I'll take it.
So the Packers and the Bears play a meaningful game. Man, it's been a long time since both of these teams were good at the same time.
6.5 points is a big line.
Maybe since Smoking Jay.
So the Bears are...
I had the Cardinals. I don't even have to look. I'm throwing that shit back.
Okay, you're not looking even, and the Cardinals are at home against the Rams, and they're an 8.5 point dog.
I got the Rams.
And the Rams, that's much better.
Remember that Caleb Haney playoff game?
I do not remember that game.
Packers Bears. Caleb Haney came in.
The Titans, I know I don't want that.
At the Browns.
The Panthers have a bye, so I got a bye.
They're playing good ball too, Dan.
Their season is over. I've been saying that since they beat the Dolphins. They beat the Dolphins, and I proclaimed their season over. And the Carolina Panthers are now 7-6. They have a chance to win the division. That's the only way to do it, right? They're not going to get into the playoffs. The disparity between the AFC and the NFC is something to behold. The 49ers are what right now at 9-4? They are a 5 seed or a 6 seed? Where are they?
They're third in their own division.
So where are the 49ers are 9-4. They have done what they always do, no matter how injured they are.
They're the 7 seed. They're hanging on.
Okay, so they're the 7 seed at 9-4, while the Bengals at 4-8 have a chance to get in the playoffs in the AFC if they win their division. The only way for Carolina to actually make the playoffs, and the reason I keep saying their season is over, is because that team does not have a legitimate chance to do anything if they get into the playoffs. No team from that division does, including the Bucs. But why? Where are we on the idea of the Carolina Panthers chasing down the Bucs? I see a lot of people on television these days looking at schedules. The Colts schedule is an apocalypse the rest of the way. They've got too many difficult games.
Panthers beat the Rams last week.
The best team in football. They beat the best team in football last week.
All right, look. Yes, they did. And they've played well at home, and they beat the Falcons 30-0 at home. They beat the Rams, though, because the Rams had 3 turnovers, and that's not a team that ever turns the ball over. You hadn't had Matthew Stafford throw an interception in 10 weeks.
So no credit to them for forcing them to look like that? They forced turnovers.
I believe that turnovers are largely lucky. There are some instances. For example, the Jets have been bad this year, at least in part because before last week, I think they'd caused 1 turnover. But I don't actually think the causing of turnovers is an ability. You go ahead and look at, for example, go ahead and help me this year with the randomness of football turnovers, given that I thought that the Jets and the Steelers were going to have good defenses this year because they had good defenses last year. But I don't actually believe that unless you have a pass rush, like unless you have what they have in Denver, I don't believe that turnovers are a recreatable thing. For example, that Chiefs-Dallas game, the Chiefs-Dallas game that got decided with the Cowboys winning, you tell me whether you think the turnover, the fumble at the end of the game that the Cowboys did not actually lose, you think that that's an ability what Turpin did there?
Well, Carolina's top 10 in turnovers, but yes, I think that you force turnovers. I think you prepare for weeks on end for an opponent. You see something in film, and you execute a game plan. I do think, there's sometimes a ball slips out of a hand, but that's not what happened against the LA Rams. They forced those turnovers. They played really well.
Or you're playing against that Lamb man. You know about that Lamb man?
Yo, stop asking me if I know about that Lamb man.
So let's examine this for a second, because I do believe there is a large element of luck with forced turnovers everywhere except where it regards pass rush. Because if you have pass rush that you can get, that is a disruption that is something that can be forced upon the other team. It can also make your secondary a great deal better, because if you have pass rush, we all know what that is. But I am not that impressed with Carolina's pass rush. They were good against the Rams. I thought Stafford had a bad game. And I don't think that Carolina forced that upon him. And the Rams still scored 28 points in the game.
The thing is about NFL, it's a weird game. The ball is weird. Weird things happen. It was just one of those games for the Rams, things didn't click, and they had all their pieces there, and it just didn't happen.
I mean,
it is what it is.
You're kind of, in a roundabout way, talking about what's happening with the college football playoff. You're just projecting assumptions and macro data points when they played a game on the field, and their pass rush was effective, and they forced turnovers in that game, and that's why we have competitive athletics.
They also won at Green Bay. So when you talk about only being good at home, they did win on the road at a team that's going to be pretty high up in the playoffs. And the thing that you bank on if you're the Panthers is the same thing that you're banking on actually if you're the Bears, which is we have not one but 2 different running backs we can go to. The reason they beat the Rams is because they ran the ball, They ran the ball 40 times. 5 times with Bryce Young, but 17 carries for Chuba Hubbard, 18 carries for Rico Dowdle. And when you can control the possessions that way and not turn the ball over, you have a chance to turn out on the other side of the turnover margin.
On the other side of the coin, though, they lost to the Bills 40-9, and they lost to the Patriots 42-13.
AFC.
So it's like, where are you in the hierarchy of, are you a good team? Are you a bad team? If you create turnovers and you can run the ball okay, you're a little bit better, but then when you have a team that plays really good offense, you kind of suck.
They're an execution team, and they're lining up against these teams with a talent disparity. And yes, it's about limiting the opponent's possessions, because the more possessions they get, the more likely they are to score points. So you try to control the game, and you stick to a game plan. Again, this is why we play the games.
They have a couple of games against the Bucs in the last 5 games that will end up deciding that division. But I do think when we talk about the analysis around some of this, I'd like to explore this with you guys, okay? Small samples, right? 13 games played, you're 7-6. We all know that all the football games are close. Go look at Arizona's schedule and how many games they've lost by 1, 2, 3, or 4 points. Just go look at Arizona. And if you think one score winning is an ability, you explain to me why the Chiefs were great at it last year and are terrible at it this year, when we all know that the Chiefs are great. We've seen over the last few years they are consistently great. So I believe that part of the problem that happens with football analysis is you get small samples, you get a whole lot of randomness, and you get what I'm talking about with forced turnovers, which are not recreatable. Like, I don't think if a team causes 16 turnovers this year, returns all its starters on defense next year, that they then can create 16 turnovers again next year.
It was Dallas a couple years ago where they had this incredible defense and had like 30 different turnovers throughout the season. The next year, they returned basically all of their starters except maybe a couple, and then we're a laughingstock defense.
Cardinals have lost 7 games by 4 points or less.
I don't disagree with what Dan is saying about one-score games and them being a trait. But if you look at the teams that they've lost one-score games to, they're all excellent teams. And late-game execution usually comes down to who can execute better, who's more talented. And if you compare that to last year, the problem why everyone was saying, look out for these Chiefs, they might be inflated, is they were doing those one-score games and getting those dubs against teams that were inferior to them. This year, not the case.
You're right. In a way, but when you say late game execution matters, there's no team in the sport that I trust more with late game execution right now than the Rams. And what happened at the end of that game is, oh look, Stafford's fumbling because he didn't see that coming from the blind side, and that never happens to them.
Yeah, it's a great sport.
It's also a random sport.
Yeah, there's some randomness to it. We've talked about how the ball isn't round. Sometimes there is randomness. Sometimes there's a bad call. But there's also days and weeks and months of preparation for an opponent on how do you strategize to stop somebody. It's awesome.
It is awesome, and you can increase some probabilities, but turnovers are super random. And if you don't think the defense is recreatable from one year to the next, if you return all your starters, I don't know how you would think that turnovers are recreatable from one year to the next when you need guys to fumble. Yeah, like you need to punch the ball correctly in order to get a fumble. You can prepare, you can try, but you are ignoring that the other team is also preparing to not fumble.
Forced turnovers, historically, not something that carries over year after year. Teams can get hot. There is randomness at play, but I'm not in the headquarters of the Carolina Panthers, but I'd imagine the majority of those forced turnovers were the byproduct of preparation and execution.
So you say this, and I know we want to talk about preparation and execution, but Michael Jackson, the guy who had the pick six, is also the guy who allowed the Puka Nacua catch. How do you prepare for that Puka Nacua catch?
You can't.
But how do you prepare for, I'm going to throw it at Puka's right wrist and he's going to catch it with the back of his right wrist? Like what are you preparing for?
I mean, he executed. It's just Puka executed better. I mean, it was great. It was
great D better O, Dan. Yeah. You know that saying, great D better O.
Yes, I know that saying, but I am simply maintaining that I don't believe that in many instances that turnovers are a thing that you can prepare for and execute unless you're playing against Max Brosmer or Bromer or whatever his name.
Or whatever his name is.
Whatever his name is.
May we never speak it again.
So Seattle prepared for Brosmer panicking, getting caught by the arm, and simply flipping it straight to a Seattle Seahawk.
No, but they prepared for a first-start quarterback, and hey, let's throw hell at him and see how he reacts, and that's how he reacted.
Poorly.
Not a good reaction.
You're dead set on believing that there is some outfit out there that can create a great many fumbles. You're outside of pass rush, which is quarterback strip sacks and all that stuff where you're just getting to the quarterback. You believe there's another scenario where
I'm not going to discount it as all random. No, I think that there are teams that are coach this.
I'm not discounting it as all random, but I think there's a lot of random in it.
You have to wrap, Tony.
This is Juju. He's got a new show.
Welcome back. The Alley Oop has returned.
How many damn jerseys do you have?
It's about basketball, hoops, and hoopers.
I'm trying to get us away from calling him the Joker because the other nickname on his page is Big Honey. And I just think Big Honey is a way better nickname.
Don Staley and them girls back at it again. And she gonna pull up Prada down, Chanel, Gucci, Louis. It don't even matter. Them Auburn Tigers, bro. Them boys 35 years old each player. None of them brothers got a hairline amongst any of them.
But maybe you're wondering, where can I see it or hear it? Tell us, Juju.
Subscribe to youtube.com/@DLS Hoops. Do you need me to point at some visual explanations? Well, here you go.